So, schauen wir mal.
This is what they're fighting for.
Euro.
The one last ticket to Daejeon. And all well, once they've gotten through T1, either team going to be facing them. Could be a telecom war or could
Morgen.
be T1 El Clasico. We have no bad options when it comes to the final here for the road to MSI. As Varus going to be taken away first as we jump into the draft, and the Casio also going to be moving. I think Casio's an interesting ban. I do feel like she has had some answers.
Nein! Nein! Fuck! Markus! Nein! Ich habe mich so gefreut. Ich wollte so mit den Karten spielen. Er war mein Licht. Er war mein Licht. Er wird mir weggepickt.
GENG, are you just going to ban the Rise? KT are telegraphing it, or are you going to trade in this situation?
Spielt weniger Solo-Queue.
Feels like the options that we've been seeing a lot as far as the bans are concerned.
Wenn ihr denkt, ein Spiel geht noch. Nein.
Which is going to be slinking through? Or do they ban none of them? Instead, it is going to be the Jarvan taken away. Canyon not wanting to see Cuz on that one. And now being towards the Rise happily.
Yeah, and I think BDD's Rise has been pretty excellent. We've seen him have so much pressure in games when he's been on this pick. Now, though, GENG for the response, there's the Rumble available, which they can definitely lean towards. If they so want to, they can look to secure
Macht's euch gleich.
bot lane. In terms of matching the Rise, obviously those two sort of typical counter picks that we often see are gone, but there's still like the Talia we've seen running reasonably often. There's also things like the Victor that can do okay.
Ezreal Karma.
And the Ezreal Karma immediately securing that bot lane duo. And it's been, Karma's been slipping through drafts.
Scheiße, ich bin überholt Hauptzeit mit Jace. Ja.
Less common.
Yep.
One of those pieces.
Okay.
Jace is going to come through here for perfect.
Oh, die fliegt nochmal. Okay.
Ziggs for aiming. Reminiscent of
Echt besser als Seraphine. Auf jeden Fall mehr Pushing Power, ja. Mehr Pushing Power, mehr Lane Prowess, ja.
Rise, Jace, and Ziggs in it.
And it was into Ezreal Karma Sion.
Yeah, this is actually...
We're just running it back.
Yeah, these are the same picks that
Oh, warte mal, stimmt.
Game one.
Oh, wait.
I think the ordering was different, but...
Stimmt.
Also really didn't like the
Aber 6 kam auf 4-5, glaube ich, oder? Bin ich am Trippen?
It's not going to be the same draft.
Nee, 6 kam auch auf 3.
In that one.
Nee, das stimmt, 6 kam auch auf 3. Ja.
But I'm a little bit
Aber Jarvan ist raus.
Unless they really change
T1 hatte Jarvan. Und Anivia ist raus. T1 hatte auch Anivia.
I want to see Canyon on something that does some damage.
Yeah. And I think in this situation, one of the issues that T1 really had in the HLE was engaging onto and getting onto these backliners when they had, you know, the Karma.
Oh, großer Gott, kommt der jetzt im Pantheon?
And GENG here banning.
Bannen sie jetzt vielleicht noch Camille?
Yesterday, into the Sile and have so much great success. So Keen's gonna have a much better time than Doran did yesterday in this situation by taking out KT, hammering away at those engagements.
Ja, als KT als vor T1 ist komisch, das ist sehr komisch.
A pretty smart move. I think this Fury value
Ich checke so ein bisschen, aber
relatively high.
Ist schon komisch.
Here for GENG as well, given the fact that you
Übernannte das.
meatball in the top lane to rely on. Canyon can be doing a little bit more of that damage. See what they do decide to go with those. The Nautilus is going to be taken away from effort.
There's still things like the Nocturne, the Lee Sin, the Wukong in the jungle. I feel like in terms of providing the engage, you're definitely looking more like Wukong or Nocturne, but the Lee Sin we've seen paired pretty well with even something like an Annie.
Ari Virus. Okay.
What GENG opt to go toward in this
Wir spielen auf jeden Fall nicht Talia.
lane matchup as of now, and they really want something that can be able to lead the charge, close the distance on these longer range.
Last Pick Jungle, bitte. Ich bin das eigentlich 25er Stück.
With his composition, so something that can set the pace early will go.
Aha.
They're starting off with Mel.
Interesting.
Here for Chovy.
Gegen Riot?
Actually, kind of think this is fun. Based on Fearless Best of 5.
Ja, das ist einfach die 10er Stück.
Away from the bottom lane as well. So as we get later and later into
Ah.
I know I'm looking a lot further forward than I really need to. This Mel could really start hamstringing
Nein.
some of the options here as aiming locks away the Camille, and there is Cuz's
Wenige Antwort auf Sion.
This is basically the same draft.
It's the Lee Sin for the Trundle because Trundle was banned, but yeah, they just basically copied HLE Game 1 draft in this situation. But hey, it worked for them, so why not? GENG considering the Xin Zhao, which, you know, is a pretty strong pick, especially paired with the Karma Shields, but in terms of closing the distance, you don't have the
Alle Menschen sagen von 26.
to get onto these squishy targets.
Deutschland mit 5 Punkten Zweiter in der Gruppe.
In this situation, you could soak a lot of damage.
Mit 5 Punkten, zweimal unentschieden, bitte.
From the Mel,
Reicht.
Poke, you have shields, you have the Xin Zhao, who can obviously pop that ultimate. Playing through the front to back for
5 Stunden Schlaf heute Nacht, ich glaube, das wäre ich stellen. 5 Stunden ist Luxus. Ja, also, mal sehen. Ganz genau, der Trundle wird fehlen gegen den, genau.
And also, I think the Mel throws a little
Mal sehen.
spanner in the works as well. I feel like Chovy will have a lot of agency to get work done on this champion.
Wo ist der Gruppensieger? Das hat Broski auch. Das hat Broski auch, also.
With Shock Blast being
Weiß nicht.
left, right and center. Some slight deviations from what we saw in game number 1 yesterday.
Weiß ich nicht, Homies.
As far as this draft is concerned. That time around,
Heißt, sie müssen jetzt noch, sie müssen gegen Schweiz gewinnen, right?
T1 almost made it back, then HLE managed to win it.
Brauchst den Sieg gegen, brauchst den Sieg gegen Schweiz und dann hast du es, I guess.
Aber ob das passiert, naja.
Also Bosnien sagt, also, da ging ja gar nichts. Ey, die waren ja komplett tot, by the way. Die waren ja komplett tot, da ging ja gar nichts.
Do believe that GENG should have a large advantage just based on the nameplates going into this series and the form of KT over the last few weeks. Not at the beginning of the season. If that was the KT we're looking at now, maybe it'd be a different story. But let's get onto the Rift for game 1.
Demirovic, der Wichser, genauso chancentot wie im VfB teilweise. Wieder mein Kicktipp geknallt.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the first game of this best of 5. Winner will be facing off against T1 tomorrow, and the loser will be going home. No tickets to Daejeon unless they come as spectators, but they want to scrim or something like that.
Yeah.
Get some rest.
Yeah, it might be a good idea as well. But no rest just yet. It is all about seeing whether they can take game 1. And already, I mean, aiming and effort should be having a decent amount of fun here in this lane if they can just stand back and avoid Duro and Ruler.
Yeah,
so, aber wir wissen natürlich, dass ein Map-Shit ist.
Durch Blackout. Things like the Ezreal Karma, if you play super aggressive around your Ignite early, even level 1, can have some pressure, and Ruler's gone for TP in this situation. So no,
wir wissen das.
Weaker. Yeah, and actually going to get hit by that hookshot. Nice engage there from Effort, and there is a bouncing bomb connecting there as well. So Ruler already under half.
Zweite Wave hard push. Wow, perfect stack auf die Minions.
There's time to go for it just before they hit level 2. Even though they're still losing in terms of prio, they managed to get that poke down. And we are getting some cross-map jungling coming out here. Split map, Canyon over here, and this is very dangerous for Perfect, who's pushing the wave in, really wants this one to crash and bounce away, so you can get to a safer position.
You can see Canyon nowhere in sight just yet, but certainly some opportunities here as Effort is roaming up, looking for a gank towards Chovy.
Das ist nicht mehr schlecht.
Canyon also posturing for maybe a punish towards Perfect.
Just saw a bunch of pings come out, basically saying that Canyon, he's going to path up towards here. We did see a ping, though, from GENG where the ward is. They know exactly where Perfect's ward is. If he walks up here, even with the ward, he could just die. But he plays back in the brush. They don't know his position, and Canyon doesn't want to waste more time. So Perfect doing a good job of evading that gank.
Timmermann, ich habe auch 3-1, glaube ich, gehabt. Schlecht.
From Effort up to level 3 now, and I think it's kind of cute, sort of funneling extra experience onto a mage in the bottom lane. Give that little bit of an advantage. We see often that Camille's are sitting around at relatively low levels for a lot of these games, but I think it does benefit the Ziggs quite a lot.
I mean, that's one of the things with mages. It's true for Ezreal as well, because he's a very magey AD carry.
Schlange für den 10. 3-1 Paraguay, das ist crazy work.
Him being level 4, having a second point in his Q gives a lot of power. Well, I mean, he should have put a second point in his Q already, but level 5, you get a third point, which feels good.
Well, right now, everything very even. About 100 gold in it between the two. As we're going to have a look at the counter jungling time. Cuz doing a little bit more, but you can see the vertical jungling is the result of this. Cuz does spot Canyon moving in. Flash out from Chovy there as going on forward. Tactical sweep, all he can really offer there, but Chovy now without a flash.
Yeah, good flash from Chovy there, able to get away from effort. I think a lot of times if you know the target's got flash, it's kind of a game of chicken. It's like, can I catch you off guard and flash?
Kein Spandau ein. Nein, Spandau hat gehigh-rolled. Spandau hat Rex Academy bekommen.
You just hold it. Feels great.
Also high-rolled, weil das andere... High-rolled, weil die anderen... Also G2 Nord hat Solari bekommen. Ja.
And teleport going to be used from Chovy to get back into the mid lane. BDD doesn't have that luxury as he's taken the ghost, as most of our risers do. But being able to stick around and just put together a decent
ist tot.
now together, looking for another opportunity as Chovy no flash, and there's a rune prison. Hookshot does come on forward as Effort tanking up the turret for so long, and they do manage to get that first blood, but man, that was pretty close. Enduro is able to get that kill back.
Yeah, so Effort was trying to...
Whoa, a flash forward from BDD as well, as he looks for the extra...
Nein, Kaz ist tot, by the way. Kaz ist nicht... Oh mein Gott, niemals wusste er das.
And Kaz so low, so close to going down there.
Freak.
Ends up being a 1-for-1 after everything. KT the ones who end up getting kills onto the carries, killing the Karma. I can feel out.
Schau dir einfach an, sein Animal.
Canyon just farming in the meantime. Oh, level 6 hit.
Yeah, Train is going to go.
Lol, Effort hat ihn nicht gesehen, by the way. Da kommt ein Counter gegen jetzt. Effort hat ihn nicht gesehen.
Gets the stun from the hookshot. Canyon making his move.
Boah, wir müssen mal was treffen, Guys. Hallo? Was ist denn hier los? Grüßi Birne.
Yeah, so Keen trying to find an aggressive angle. We've seen him have a lot of success in these Sion vs Jace matchups. But with Effort there, ends up losing out in the extended trade. Canyon is in position to bail him out, though. Effort just
ja, weil Jace hat bisher 70 Gold weniger, ne?
And he is going to be going back now. See whether he does head back down towards that bottom side. But I have a feeling that he is just going to continue roaming everywhere else on the map. Aiming very happy here in this bottom lane. Just teleported back down there. Ruler is going to answer. And Cuz looking for a crab now as well. Level 6 will be his. Off that one, and we're going to have a look at this play one more time.
Ja, hat's ja schon mit G natürlich.
I think Effort was trying to wait out the rebuttal. Actually, no.
Nee, war geroutet.
Rooted for too long.
Yeah.
In fact, when he went for the... I thought he was trying to wait out the rebuttal, but he was just rooted, couldn't recast it, and as a result ended up taking a ton of tower hits. So good play from Chovy there to counteract it. Read the target who get tower aggro fierce very well.
Yep.
To make it a 1-for-1.
Now, KT starting off this dragon. We do have Canyon and Duro in the area, but there is a lot of vision here from KT, so information advantage should be theirs. Decent little snare here onto Effort, though. It's not really going to be doing too much of anything at all. And Cuz halfway through this dragon, with full control of this bottom lane right now, I think that means KT will be able to take this without too much of a response from GENG.
Pretty easy pickup in this situation. And honestly, all things considered, bot lane going super well for KT. The fact you're playing into Ezreal, Karma, and your Ziggs has a CS lead, feels fantastic. I mean, you can say he was playing range plus melee, but realistically, he's just been playing range. Most of the lane effort just hasn't been there.
Yep. And Duro has needed to match him as well.
Gefährlicher Tag für die Stimmung. Sehr gefährlicher Tag.
There towards that bottom side. I think KT understanding that leaving up the Ezreal Karma maybe.
Wenn wir uns heute komplett aus dem Meer verabschieden, haben wir ein Problem. Dann wäre es zwar okay, dass ich morgen um 17 Uhr nicht da bin, aber trotzdem.
Like the ones that Life Esports showed us yesterday in this Ziggs and Camille.
Yeah, if you survive the lane and Karma's been nerfed a good amount, a lot of our itemization has been toned down in terms of the Dream Maker, Echoes of Helia has been toned down as well. A lot of nerfs on this patch to make her weaker in the late game. And when you have a Camille as well, all you have to do is just jump on one of the two carries on GENG, press ult, and then have follow-up. And you trade your life for either Ruler or Chovy, and your
Sie waren bei MSI dabei, stellt sich morgen um 8 Uhr aus. Gewinner von heute spielt gegen T1 morgen um 8 Uhr den letzten MSI-Slot.
Uncontested is Ziggs Camille. You're feeling fantastic in this game.
All right, well, Canyon going to move up towards his top side, just going to clear out as much of the protection.
Im Mehrfelder ist ein Schock größere Erdbeben Gefahr, ist 100%.
This side of the map, as Effort is going to get snared by Chovy, hit by that Q as well.
Nach 3 Games gegen Anubis habe ich Keine Erwartungshaltung mehr. Das war so unglaublich pathetic.
Yeah, that's the first one. Safeguard available here for Cuz onto effort over this wall, and will be able to use that to get himself out of there. Keen at about half health, and Perfect continuing to soften him up, and it looks like KT wanting to go for something, although that Sonic Wave missed.
Okay, first move into bottom mit Rise ulti.
Out. So 2-1, grub advantage over to GENG.
Yeah, they're just taking away some jungle camps here, moving down on the map, aiming with so much pressure on a ruler. He hit a bouncing bomb in an earlier.
Ja, bekommen sie.
Back away from the
Das ist lineal.
Well, Cuz could just kick him into the wall here as he arcane shifts, gets himself out of the way. Decent little Q, but doesn't want to dive in a turret right now.
Save the flash, so feeling pretty good in that situation.
Oh no, Mega Inferno Bomb comes through, and that interrupts the back.
Yeah, no TP as well, so he's going to be out of lane.
Solid map set für KT.
Access early feels very good.
Yeah, already 2 plates down there in that bottom side. And this Ziggs is an absolute win condition, and I am joined by the perfect person to tell us about that, as Orcs knows Ziggs pretty good.
Yeah.
At every part of the game, are we going to say?
Are we going to say what?
Is Ziggs just
Oh my
good
God,
in every
makes
part
sense.
of the game?
In this game specifically, he's definitely, there's going to be a later point where he's going to struggle to cut through Keen. But it just, you have to hit the right targets. Ziggs does so much damage, but cutting through tanks is not his forte.
Maybe not going to be building a Leandri this game.
Well, it doesn't look like it with him going. Ludens, I believe in the game yesterday, specifically into this bulkier comp, Gumushi went Blackfire Torch.
Oh, that's a cute one. That's all right. We've got a bit of a roam up here towards his top side. Keen just going to flash away.
Einfach, du bist ein Animal, by the way.
When becomes lightning isn't going to connect as Cuz.
Einfach, du bist ein Animal. Und so, die bekennst du 100%, ja.
So no one going to be dying in that little exchange. And we do have Perfect able to move back towards the top side. Keen now with no flash.
Lineal TP hoch, oder läuft hoch.
Situation, but one big difference in this game compared to yesterday's game is yesterday's game that Jace was mega fed.
Ja, eben. Jace 200 Gold hier gerade.
Doesn't have that much of a significant lead over Keen right now. On the back of that last play, he managed to get a bit of tower damage. He has got a bit of a gold lead, 300, but you know that game yesterday was a humongous lead, and the Jace being so strong was a big factor. You also don't have the Trundle to cause all those problems for the Scion and turn him into paper if he goes too aggressive. So I think Keen is going to feel a lot better than Doran did and be a lot harder to deal with in this game, which does put a lot of pressure onto KT to get access to the squishier targets or just speed up the pace of the game and get a bigger gold lead. Right now, they are posturing around mid lane. The fact that you have
Ruler, die haben Ruler TP für zweiten Drake, also eigentlich ganz geil, also ganz schlau gemacht, ne?
taking out targets.
Oh, Cuz maybe going a little bit too aggressive here as he's not going to get snared by Chovy. Able to safeguard his way out. Even though the 3-talent strike connected, he was already halfway out of there. So Cuz going to be all right. Looked a little bit aggressive as another Mega Inferno Bomb just to be annoying.
Contesten damit nicht, ne?
Keep channeling his recall here. Wants to go back.
Muss halt Thanos geil kaufen.
The big factor is he hasn't completed his item. So Cuz a lot stronger than him right now with the Sundered Sky. Canyon goes back and gets his. But it means he's not on the map, he's not in position to
TP.
and we'll see what it ends up being. Could be a big factor in this game. With Infernal and Cloud already not available.
It's got to be a Mountain Soul, right? And it isn't. It's a Ocean Soul this time around. We're starting a little bit slowly, as far as the souls are concerned.
If you're KT in the situation and you're not feeling so great, on the back of this one, Ocean Soul not really doing a ton of composition. If anything, GENG would have preferred it into the poke and with some bulkier frontliners. But
it can work for like the game plan that KT has, right? Like just play some smoke and mirrors and try and get that extra damage. And so therefore, like being able to get that health bar back could be good. As Duro going to get kicked back here by Cuz. BDD looking for an angle, but Duro does have that Inspire. But there is the Rune Prison.
Wie zur Hölle ist Costa gelandet?
Not able to break out of that one.
Good pick. Seeing the Rise Lee Sin
Sehr guter Pick.
on display, how easy it is to set up, especially on a squishier pick like the Karma. Duro binning both summoners and still isn't.
Warum bin ich schon so früh? Das weiß ich nicht, aber LCKs Finale ist, glaube ich, immer um 8.
Especially as KT don't really have souls of WinCon right now. It's not going to massively push things in favor of them taking the game, so they really have to be lead forward and looking towards
Definitiv kein schlechtes Early Game.
later on.
Do you remember what the KT win condition was against D+, though? It was Elder.
Yeah.
Almost every game.
Yeah.
Whether they get the soul or not, the Elder Dragon was kind of just KTs. And so
Good
we'll see
catch.
whether they can speed run their way there, where the soul isn't as important, but getting to that big dangerous dragon is.
In this situation, Duro just pushing in, getting a ward down, not seeing Cuz behind him deeper in the jungle. You can see now, if you look at the vision line, ward's exactly where Cuz was before.
Upgrades, Mikey, man, upgrades, man.
On that one.
Oh, Q gonna connect there onto Canyon, who does take a fair bit of damage here.
Because
As is in.
right now.
Full move into middle.
Same items as Canyon, but just the burst damage available is a big
Oh, er ist
threat.
tot, oder?
Now they're leaning towards Chovy. There is a TP available for Keen, and he's backed away from the tower, so I think the communication's coming in. I might need help, and there it is.
Yep, he is not going to waste any time on
Mehr Gold für Jay, das heißt, Canyon muss top lanen fahren.
way over here. This gives Perfect so much space, though. Canyon has to come over to try and defend, but now they know exactly where the jungler is. And so GENG just kind of being pulled
Guter Map-Play bisher. Sehr guter Map-Play von KT.
mid-game by KT. I mean, KT's macro, this is looking like some round 1 macro that we saw from KT, which was a lot cleaner.
Wow, BDD kommt über die Wand.
To
Okay.
cheat that realm warp over to the other side of the
Oh,
wall.
Chovy.
Out another kick, but a great snare from Chovy. Flashes, so the resonating strike doesn't work. The overwhelm not going to be enough, but Canyon will be able to shut down effort. Cuz now taking a lot of damage, flashing it out of the way, and the train coming on over. Keen not able to hit anyone, but Canyon gets over that wall. Great satchel there from aiming to try and keep Cuz alive. Ruler is now on.
Immer noch fein für KT. Top-Lane-Schild bekommen.
Managed to come in and punish KT for a bit of that over-aggression.
Aha, Kills bekommen.
2 kills picked up, 2 for 1.
Ja.
Top-Lane-Schild weg.
First turret.
Also Jace jetzt gut Gold bekommen.
Now Perfect's trying to be annoying here.
Do they, like,
Wow.
KT are just interrupting
Wow.
us all over the place.
Well played.
Dead. Yeah, really clean.
No joke, well played.
Go back, knows it's an easy target, and now they can just look for this tower. It's satchel range for aiming right now.
Yep, he is able to
Gold accelerated.
immediately. So the outer ring at huge risk of just all being eliminated here, and that is KT moving that gold lead to about 2.5.
And you can see, even though GENG came in on the play and were able to catch out 2 members of KT, hold them accountable, it cost a lot in terms of resources. It cost a lot of flashes. It cost a lot of effort.
It did cost effort.
It did cost effort.
Yeah.
But we see in this situation, Chovy TP's this tower. It's such a dangerous play because there's 4 members of KT there.
Interesting, dass er nach rechts flasht und nicht nach unten, nach links, ne?
Also dying because he has to extend pretty far for it. But then they go on this chase on Cuz. Cuz on the Lee Sin, super mobile. And because their engage isn't super reliable, it takes so long to catch him, and they have to commit so many flashes. Keen with the final one here to get him down. And then this play, this was so smart. I think Duro just kind of knew. Maybe he was shot.
Ja, ich gesehen, dass Teddy verloren hat, ja.
Scrying Trinket came down, he just knew he was kind of dead.
Yeah, it wasn't
Also, die farmen gutes Gold ab, ne?
get him out of that one as Keen
Nicht der Tritt.
again having to use that ultimate very defensively here towards this bottom side. And this Serpent Spang really doing some work for Perfect as well.
Cuz kein Flash.
Soul Furnace is now Cuz moving in, just going to get knocked up by that cube. It gets the kickback onto the Scion. Keen fully separated from his team, but the rest of them are moving in. Mega Inferno Bomb going to be enough to shut him down, but there goes effort as well. And the Zombie Scion is actually doing a fair bit of work here, as Cuz will be able to finish him off in the end. A 1-for-1 top laner for support.
Yeah, we keep
Keen ist nicht da.
From yesterday to today with HLE and KT, but they're playing the map.
Oh,
Really
BDD
well.
just going to walk over, gets the Crescent Guard out of Canyon, who decides to go back in. Flash out from Perfect to avoid Chovy's damage, which is really starting to stack up. KT just going to move back looking for Soul Point.
Yeah, some oversteps there. Cost Perfect his flash in that situation, but he's able to get away from it. Aiming, TPing in
Keen hat kein TP noch für so 20 Sekunden.
on the Ziggs now.
Aber die werden contesten, oder? Ja. Yep.
These contest some of this vision, but 2,700 gold behind it. A big item spike for the Ziggs. It's going to be hard to contest if they want to.
And Canyon
Canyon hat keine Ulti, das ist ein Problem.
without a lot of his health bar as well, as he's looking to take down this red buff. Ruler on the minefield. Needs to be very, very careful. As in goes Keen once again. Hextech Ultimatum holds him in position. But
Ich weiß nicht, ob das dein Target für die Camel-Ulti sein sollte. In der Comp. Oh, ist unplayable gegen Ziggs.
God, the damage from this Ziggs is absolutely absurd. And yeah, Duro is probably dead if he gets hit by that one. Keen already taken down. It's BDD that locks up that kill. But now Canyon in this.
Oh mein Gott, geklaut. GG. GG. Wow.
Left alive, and the Realm Warp will secure his fate.
GG.
For aiming it absolutely. absolutely is, as KT are massacring GENG in this game.
This Shadow Flame Loon's damage spike is so insane.
Junge, werden ihm in die Map gerannt. Das ist crazy work.
Waiting for the window, and all 4 members who are remaining of GENG end up in the pit. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
And shooting fish in a barrel when your bullet is the size of the barrel. That's basically what.
Ja, ich meine, die wollen den dritten direkt nicht geben.
Yeah.
Position aber sofort.
Oh man, Keen separated here in this instance. It was nicely played. GENG able to get that one back against Effort.
Yeah, Effort super squishy at this point. He just dies. But, you know, his KDA is not really important, but here, so aiming's getting some good...
Ja, die schwirrt aber in die Choke rein. Ja, ja.
But then his
Six is balanced.
And I'm thinking, when's the window? When's the window? Does he go for Ruler Enduro, or does he go for the rest of the team? And then they come into the pit! I'm like, well, it's an easy decision now, and he just throws the ult in. It's so much value.
And the insult to injury there as well is that Cuz also secures Soul Point for KT.
Yeah.
So GENG get absolutely nothing back for that huge risk that they took.
You know what? I'll say it.
Please do.
As soon as I saw the entire global side with 3-0 predictions for GENG...
I mean, Pony tried his best. He tried his absolute best.
But it's hard to explain.
It is. It's hard to explain just how much he was not able to curse KT by predicting for them. It is going to be this inner turret falling down. And it's a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. We might be getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves, but KT are looking absolutely phenomenal here. And sometimes, you know, like, if someone took the test and you could watch it the day before, why not just copy it? You know, it's the same exam as now Cuz is going to have his ride stopped there a little bit as Shelly is taken down, so not able to get another charge.
It makes you wonder, during these 2 weeks, I mean, KT and HD win drawn against each other. May have been
Oh, er ist komplett One-Hit. Holy fuck.
Great satchel as well to make sure that this
Er ist komplett One-Shot.
from the rest of his team.
Easy pickup. You know, I talked about not playing into the trundle, going to make the Sion's life so much
Yeah.
easier, but KT are just shredding through Keen with the gold lead they have right now. So far ahead.
Oh, aiming, trying to get some information here. Canyon is at least able to tank up some of these bouncing bombs a little bit better than Duro, thanks to a bit of added magic resist here for the Xin Zhao.
And
GENG, they're not out of it just yet, but it's getting close.
If the Sion feels squishy at this point, you're not in for a good time. And I think one of the issues compared to yesterday is T1 had the Jarvan. You know, we saw a lot of that game 1 defined by snap engages. GENG don't have snap engage. They don't have ways to easily get onto the Ziggs or onto the Jace. And at this point, when there's flashes available for all the carries of KT, what is your game plan for shutting down aiming? You just run at him fast and hope he doesn't...
Have satchel?
Yeah. Or flash. Or now rocket belt.
Keen is going to have to try and do it again. Does use the blast cone to get himself to safety. Is now aiming is just hunting Ruler. Just throws a Mega Inferno Bomb at him. And he has to Arcane Shift over the wall to avoid getting Bouncing Bomb to death. This is going to be a dead turret. If aiming wants it, and there it goes.
Aiming has just been dominating this
He's
matchup.
So huge, man. 2.7k ahead.
I mean, you take Karma Ezreal on the first rotation, and you end up behind compared to a Ziggs Camille. It's not a good feeling.
And the thing as well is that they saw yesterday's games, right? But the Camille wasn't denied. Ziggs. And Evans had a great game as well.
Duro.
Caught out of position.
Oh, die wollen hier fighten. Das ist nicht gut.
Down. Canyon could also be in trouble as well. Crescent Guard trying to keep him okay, but it's a great satchel charge. And
oh.
Goes in. Now Keen gets over the wall, and they do manage to lock down Effort. But now Keen could be in an awkward spot. Perfect over the wall here. There's a shock blast being deflected by Chovy. That is all they're going to be able to achieve, both supports on the floor.
You could see the game plan there from KT. They're like, if we just get Canyon, we can go straight to Baron and get this game in the bag, but they end up overstepping a little bit.
Guter Play von Keen.
Still just so squishy. I think another factor here is he doesn't have his ult available. They get the kill on Aduro pretty easily, but when Effort goes in, he'd love to be able to ult here and just buffer the Crescent Guard and keep him locked in place. But that not available, the turnaround comes in, and Cuz does survive, but Effort just gets obliterated so quickly. He's level 8 in this game.
Jesus Christ, Ruler TP.
Dead. In this game at this current moment, and that is going to be the sole available for KT.
I think
the enemy
Gen
not
G,
having an 80 carry.
you just give it up. I think it's not worth contesting. It's not that big of a boost for KT.
Elder flip, baby.
Elder flip might be the game plan here, but they are looking to move in. Ruler's
Oh.
being.
Das ist so unplayable gegen den 6. Wow, 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 balanced.
Is problematic. And Effort taking a lot of damage. He is able to get himself over. That is a minefield thrown back towards KT. That was cute. Didn't know that was even a projectile, but you learn something new every day. As Chovy now with some control here. They do move themselves in. Keen is just taking shot after shot, though, from aiming and from perfect.
Yeah, they're claiming space, but they're losing health in the meantime, taking so much poke. They are giving some back, though, with that true shot barrage, but this is not a comfortable position.
6 Ulti gleich wieder ab.
KT is circling like sharks, and look at this. They're sharks with laser beams, man. This Jace is able to get a lot of these shock blasts through.
Ja. Also, es wird nicht besser aus. 6 Ulti ist jetzt wieder ab. Enjoy.
Hunting.
6 Mana. Ist okay, oder? Ist echt ein sehr interessanter Fight, wie die auch zu zweit auf BDD gehen. Oh, Effort ist tot. BDD gecatcht. BDD gecatcht. Keen. Jetzt tot. Oh, wait. Duro ist tot. Okay, er hat ihn geklaut. Ah. Sehr geile, also honestly, sehr, sehr geile Sequence. Sehr, sehr, sehr geile Sequence.
They're like, you know what? We can wait another 5 minutes for the Elder flip. It ends up being a lot of good poke coming down on a Genji, but Effort goes in a little early. And the thing is, they know that they're playing around this brush. I think this was just a bit overzealous. Effort thinking he can just dodge away from the root. And then here in this turnaround play, there ends up becoming a bit of a manic rush for the Dragon. That Shock Blast kills Duro, unfortunately. But Keen buys so much time, not just when he's alive, but in his passive form as well. And that's enough to push KT away. We also saw aiming running out of mana on the back end of the fight. So something they have to keep in mind in these extended poke wars.
Effort is absolutely a secret agent. Hook shots towards Canyon here. Hextech ultimatum. Nowhere. And down goes the Xin Zhao Crescent Guard. Just barely.
Oh, großer Gott.
Just yet as my God. Thank goodness for a rebuttal out of Chovy.
And honestly, thank goodness that aiming's ult wasn't up yet, because I was looking for the cooldown. Level 16 now hit.
Well, now it's up.
Insane.
And it's very big. That is a big Inferno.
Playable oder nicht?
I think Mega's probably a good enough word.
Oh.
All right, aiming taking a lot of damage from Ruler, though. Mega in front of him does nothing if you're dead. As there's a Rune Prison on to Keen. They're trying to dissuade the engage from the...
Wow, dass sie die Position hier irgendwie spielen können, ist crazy. Oh, Effort ist tot. Wow. Wie können die diese Position spielen? Das ist so verrückt, oder nicht? Macht Echo auf Healia so viel?
Honestly, just great plays from the carries of Genji. Ruler chunking out aiming, putting him low on HP, and Chovy finding this pick on an F.
Ich sag mir, Endless Hunger auf Ruler wird es ein bisschen besser.
And allow Canyon to get back on the map. This was such a delicate.
Aber wow.
Canyon caught on his grump, ends up just getting taken down. Not much you can do against a Camille who ults you 1v4 in this situation. And with him down, so Ruler finds a great angle.
Ja, also natürlich hier die HP zu verlieren, Slow vom Nash auch noch.
And he arcane shifts over to get the damage down. Aiming does rocket belt away, but ends up chunked. And then here, Chovy fishing for damage.
Oh, aus Replay. Canyon?
Oh, Canyon.
Canyon low again.
Does have
Blood.
This time around, though, Mega Inferno Bomb will get it out of him. And that trade
aiming.
might work out here for aiming, unless he just dies.
Endless Hunger ist fertig.
This time holds on to it. And KT, they do manage to push Canyon back.
Also diese beiden Teams sehen schon mal schlechter aus als Hanwha. Das schon mal als Observation, ne?
Keen takes a lot of damage. It is otherwise going to be fine, and this is the price that GENG has to pay with being towards that bottom side.
Was?
Kick back on Duro, and the flash in from Effort.
Was macht denn KT? Hä?
Hey. There is aiming, grabbing the kill.
Was zur Hölle macht KT?
And now BDD in this backline looking to make his
Canyon's here.
And Canyon just dives on top, and down goes the Rise. GENG.
Was macht KT?
Script for this matchup this time as Mega
Die Stadt Nash, ja.
come in and wait, never mind, it's not new. They did make a comeback in the last time we saw basically this same matchup.
Also beide Teams auf jeden Fall schlechter als...
Move over towards the Baron.
Now Curse's flash and smite and his Elise in, so we'll see if he can approach and try and get a steal. They're trying to stop him. Ruler's getting damage down onto him.
Teleport in from aiming to try and offer that poke damage forward, cuz not going to get into the Baron pit just yet. They do get the information as there's a satchel just to be annoying. Effort's moved his way over. This is getting a little dicey as the...
Nein.
He's in the pit.
Nein.
He gets into the pit. Does go down. He takes down. Oh, there was no smite in that pit for a moment because Canyon was killed. But it is going to be Genji that secured in the end thanks to Ruler. Chovy now has a very cool hat and a Baron to utilize with it.
That was so tense. They just changed places.
Yeah, it kind of broke my brain for a second there.
Oh, there was just a manic moment, but both junglers end up going down, and it's Genji who had control of the areas. Genji who get the Baron. The goal lead is closing. The soul hasn't been secured. It's 40 seconds till KT get another chance, but even so, it's Ocean Soul. They're losing
Lord have mercy, ey.
this game. And things are starting to go
Es ist sehr viel Aussagen, dass KT es nicht schafft, diese Game zu gewinnen, right?
Chovy, and a lot of these moments could not be...
Sehr viel Aussagen. Ich glaube nämlich nicht, dass es unbedingt an Genji liegt. IMO.
Very, very tanky is this man. Now able to get healed up and helped out by his teammates.
I mean, it's crazy this Sion just has 2 items when so many other people are...
Weil der Lose hier schreit 3-0 für mich, weil wir haben jetzt Shojin fertig plus Hut bei Chovy. Dieser Lose hier würde 3-0 schreien.
For this Drake that's going to be up in 1 second's time. Having to make their way
Shot of effort.
brush could be very scary. Yeah,
Aber er spottet, oder?
But he's been spotted.
yeah. On that control ward, as the rest of KT are able to protect him.
Boah, er ist tot. Er ist tot. Okay. Ich glaube 3-0, no joke.
As in goes effort onto Chovy, looking to try and lock him up as aiming still relatively safe, gets another minefield down, and my god, the Ziggs damage is disgusting, but it's Ruler that just circumnavigates him, takes down BDD, aiming should be going, and it's a triple for Ruler.
I know.
It's not Chovy, it's Ruler in this game.
And they managed to find the fight again. Chovy with the massive pick. No engage. It doesn't matter when Chovy is there to take out these key members of KT. And Ruler comes in with a cleanup.
Oh my goodness. This Ezreal, 4 items now picked up.
Also ja, das, natürlich, dass er zweimal den gleichen Play bekommt da mit dem Busch und so, aber...
Just hiding in the brush, dodging skill shots with the control.
Erneut, ich glaube, das ist deutlich mehr aussagend über KT.
And then here, he plays around the Hextech ultimatum.
Oh,
He has a CC with Keen onto DD. Uses the stasis to survive, and then Ruler comes in for that cleanup. This was expert team fighting from GENG. And aiming did so much damage in that fight, but it just did not matter.
And now, what you were talking about before, about dealing with Keen, is becoming a reality. As he's able to put a few items together, GENG find themselves a gold lead for the first time.
Aber sieht GENG eigentlich derzeit so gut aus? Also in dem Game sah nicht wirklich sehr gut aus.
150 Red Bull Baron power play
IMO.
is what they used to get there. Pretty impressive.
Ach, Instant Frozen ausgekauft auch noch.
GENG can hold on to this advantage and kill a Nexus. Which is what we weren't able to see.
Ach, nicht so gut aus. Oh, lol. Weiß nicht, ich glaube, also die sahen Ende von Regular sahen sie wieder ziemlich decent aus. Ich würde sagen, generell, Drafts hier sah ziemlich schwer zu spielen aus. Ehrlicherweise. Ich glaube, das hier war einfach KTs Game zu verlieren.
But they've itemized very defensively. Zonya's there for Chovy as well as the Rocket Belt. It's kind of become his namesake.
Did Ruler just go back and buy a full Frozen Heart?
I think he had it. I think he did buy it after that last fight. It's the highest value Frozen Heart game, but obviously the mana does help out with the mana immune. He is going for a Hex Drinker now to help against that magic damage. But they want to be bulky so they can survive against these threats.
Das Frozen Heart war jetzt ein TA zum Beispiel, check ich auch nicht so ganz.
Such a bad spot.
Oh yeah, got out of position. Does manage to get the hook shot stun onto Keen, but he's still
Duro.
Now the satchel is going to get
Canyon.
Closer to the carries. Hextech ultimatum comes on over. They're going to try and kill
Oh, krass.
and they do manage to take
GENG. Nee, even noch, okay.
And True Shot Barrage separates effort from his life force, and KT gonna have to back.
Clean ist was anderes.
I feel like
Clean hier ist was anderes.
Look like GENG might be able to take it, but just the damage from aiming so severe. Even though Cuz and effort go down, It felt like the ult that clipped Chovy and that one bouncing bomb that hit 3 people was enough to immediately make GENG walk away from the fight. We see here Effort, despite all his mobility, gets caught out here. The wind becomes lightning catches, and then Keen gets the decimating smash.
So krank, wie viel Damage Aiming noch macht, ne? So insane.
But look at this damage from aiming that hits Chovy. Oh my lord. And then they start to move up after the fact. But then look at this bouncing bomb that hits 3. And GENG just goes, nah, nah, we're good.
As soon as the bomb hit, you saw
Der hat keinen Hut.
I am clicking the other direction.
That was enough. That was enough damage just to make you hesitate, make you stop. And it just shows that, you know, a few key skill shots from this very skill shot reliant composition of KT can make all the difference. All about hitting the right targets as well.
And you can see Aiming had a very large gold advantage earlier on in the game. That has swung completely back around after that last team fight that Ruler was able to take control of. And he is now looking for his final item to put together. A 4.2k gold advantage here for GENG. And they've started to stack up these Ocean Drakes. You were talking about the value that GENG could get out of this soul. Well, Quadra Ocean Soul could be the option for them if they're able to lock down this next one in 1 minute and 15. Baron going to be up in 18 seconds time as well. And that is going to be a big one to look for here, as Perfect able to avoid Chovy this time around. And there's that
More fertig. 7 Items.
Yeah, it doesn't have a typical armor pen item, but I think into this composition feels like it's not the highest value, even though obviously even on Squishier champs, it does make a good amount of difference, but just prioritizing
Actualizer bei Ryze fertig.
armor and magic resist in his build that he is now.
Es sieht so, als ob KT schwach ist.
And I know there's a ton of damage on KT.
Don't get me wrong.
You can survive
Oh.
a couple of bouncing bombs that can make all the difference.
Oh.
Because KT is so skill shot reliant. That initial burst of damage not taking you down or just not chunking you to that low hit
Nimmt nicht den Köder.
will make the difference here. Actualizer has been finished by BDD though, which we know can be.
Wissen Sie's?
And GENG just start up the.
Wissen Sie, dass sie da?
The fact that KT were leaning towards the bot side.
Ja.
Yeah, and Chovy with teleport in hand. KT is still looking.
Wow, wollen die einfach. Okay.
Baron had been started.
Also, ja.
They elect to move on to this position.
Also.
BDD can deliver.
Oh, die wollen Chovy auf dem Weg zum Drake bekommen.
GENG are wrapping around. Does KT have the information?
Er TP't, oder? Ja.
GENG able to move back to grab themselves the third dragon if they would like
Oh, they're
to.
just TPing.
Haben ihn gesehen?
To save past the dangerous area where they know that someone from KT is hiding. They're like, you know what? We'll deal with it later. For
Warte.
now, focus is the dragon. They know that there's someone hiding out in their jungle, but they're just not able to scout
machen dies?
right now, and their focus is secure on this dragon.
Oh, BDD is going to move down towards this.
Geben den Drake.
Try and break open the.
Gut fertig bei Aiming.
Meantime, as the dragon is going to be going over to GENG. A third ocean, not exactly the most valuable. As effort, I mean that's a dangerous place. But now, seeing whether
Ruler.
maybe they can get a catch on.
Oh mein Gott.
The back.
Oh mein.
Still there, Canyon still there.
Also, die spielen hier mit voller Information. Das können wir. Nein! Effort.
No! He almost killed him and he did! Oh, BDD gonna have some choice words after this.
Delivers him on a silver platter.
Ey, nee, Mann.
And now with the
Hab ihn insane gelesen von Genji, dass da irgendjemand im Botside ist, right? Und dann dementsprechend so zu reagieren. Aber nee, Mann.
towards the Baron.
Oh no! The ultimate betrayal! As effort.
Das ist crazy work.
Trying to take down Keen here. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to be avoided. And KT want to make a cross.
Werden die nicht geknallt auf Mitte gleich?
Take down this tower in the mid lane. That will go down very quickly thanks to aiming. Not quite able to get the crystalline overgrowth for this bottom end. Breaking things open, that is 6 elemental drakes that have been taken down so far. Soul for either team next time.
The slow-mo replay betrayal.
Oh,
I think we are.
Oh,
there we go.
poor
It was coming.
BDD.
Report.
Yeah, walk away effort. You know what you did.
Yeah, he does. And we watched it again in slow motion. There's no escaping that one. If KT do win this and we get an interview, I really hope that that is the first question. So what went through your mind when you murdered BDD?
Long live the king.
Perfect. Keen now going to get tagged here. Does manage to ult to avoid getting kicked back. That was nicely done. Mega Inferno Bomb onto only a Scion, who looks like he's held.
Bro, what?
True Shot Barrage is going to sail over the top.
Unending Despair proc, balanced.
Yeah, Keen is immortal now.
He's so tanky, and effort is paper. Now though they're looking for the
Canyon Ulti war gut.
Here towards Canyon, it's Cuz that dives on top of him. Perfect should be able to help take down the Xin Zhao, and there it is.
Ja, schaut auf Botlane.
Guys, the bait.
Das ist genial.
Also trying to take down Keen. Ruler and Chovy, though, they have all the damage, and they're going to say, you can
G.
Guys, they're ending the game. They're ending the
GG.
Exactly right. Nexus turned up.
3-0. Das Game zu verlieren ist absoluter Genickbruch in meinem Kopf.
To watch as his Nexus
Wirklich, das Game hier zu verlieren ist so fatal. Auch fürs Mental.
in the series.
So much happened in that game. A dominant early and mid-game performance from KT is thrown out the window as GENG claw it back with some clutch team fighting. In the end, the two who end the game are the two who found the windows in the team fight. Ruler and Chovy having a great bounce back performance in that one.
Yeah.
And I just think it's crazy how KT looked so controlled,
Ja.
so clean when it came to that macro setup in the side lane.
Schade, wa?
The game ends with just getting backdoors and then trying to kill Keen.
And I don't think Keen even went down towards the end there. Canyon went down to his GA. They wasted so much time trying to kill them. And look at
Mit den USA startet auch der letzte Gastgeber in die größte Weltmeisterschaft, die es je gegeben hat. Und die Erwartungen von den Fans der USA sind groß. Trainer Mauricio Pochettino hatte US-Präsident Donald Trump sogar verkündet, dass die Amerikaner um den Titel geklärt. Es ist ein offensiver Beginn in eine Partie, die von der ersten Minute an
Endgültig.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the space on the road to MSI. And like we said at the beginning of the day, Pony's pick, he explained that it would be difficult to explain, and we're going to try to explain the game one, which is going to also be difficult to explain. And we start with the draft, which looked suspiciously like yesterday's draft in T1.
Ich war bei MSI noch nicht.
Life Esports.
Hallo euch.
I don't know if that's the case scripted in that sense, but it clearly shows that KT was most likely screaming against HLE and GENG was most likely screaming against T1 because these drafts were pretty much identical. With the difference is that T1 played yesterday and KT had time, or rather GENG had time to adapt here. So GENG, for example, bans the Trundle, and then there is no counter really, and there's no way of killing a Trundle in the mid game. So while Ezreal Karma is the same, when they get the Trundle, I feel like their scaling gets much, much better. Then we see the same answer from KT. So we see the Camille, we see the Ziggs. We enable the map, we open up the map a little bit, but I feel like the jungler really made the difference there.
There was also one other small difference I'd like to bring up. Effort is not delight, okay? There's a bit of a difference in the performance of the Camille pick here. And although it started off really well, and I felt like there was a lot of emulation there in the early game from Effort, some of his decisions in the mid to late definitely fell apart.
So yesterday pre-show, I talked about how hard to draft on the bot lane. So again, it happened again. Like to play against Ezreal Karma, you pick Camille. So the whole point is that I think whenever you
Jankos ist eine, ja,
you wanna
ist
win the
Jankos.
lane, you wanna snowball from the lane,
Respect.
and I think the goal from the Ezreal Karma is actually hitting the turret and get the turret before like 15 minutes. But I think them having Karma and Ziggs able to make so many skirmishes in the mid lane, and I think Camille is going to be happy about just matching Karma in the mid lane because she's going to have a better fight. And I think Ziggs is also having a fun time on the bot lane, playing one-on-one against Ezreal. So I think whole draft makes sense to do the same thing literally like yesterday because KT had such a great snowballing in the early game.
Yeah, and it led to a pretty solid lead as we take a look at the gold at 17 minutes. This looks great. No roller coaster needed. It's just, we're on the ride. It's going great. Hands up.
Yeah.
Anyone hands up? Any hands uppers?
Well, I don't know how the game went. I take them down.
All right, we're going up, right?
And then, okay, we'll see him eating. Will we show them going down? Will we show them going down? Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm going to use my ult into your ult, and it's going to go well, and it just doesn't at all.
No. I mean, this fight is... It's so much control here for GENG, and Cuz is fishing, because they want to save...
Ich finde es so crazy, dass Digon beispielsweise nicht bei International Events ist.
But you didn't have to force this.
Ich finde ihn als Death Coast.
But I'd like to bring up,
Ich sage einfach sehr gut.
even though effort kind
Will nicht vergleichen, aber er ist sehr gut als Death Coast.
stopwatch. So if Jace would actually flash on Chubby, but he
Ist crazy, dass der nicht bei Events ist.
Mel behind, like when she's free to do whatever she wants to, I mean, we see what happens.
I just think in these types of situations, when you still have a lead, you still have control, you can give that mid-turret bounty up. It's okay. You don't have to fish with Lee Sin. And it's speaking of Cuz and BDD that's really caused so many problems for KT. They tried to do it in the early game. We didn't show the highlight earlier where BDD went for the flash play. They tried to kill the Karma. It didn't work out. Almost caused Cuz to die. We don't need all that. Like, we could just play through our win cons.
Yes, which, as Wadid said, was a lot through the draft, but we know that this team likes to...
Ich glaube, MSI Broadcast hat es noch nicht announced.
And so, although they
Aber ich habe da meine Vermutung. Mal sehen. Vielleicht irre ich mich. Hoffentlich irre ich mich.
They're pushing both, by the way. You're killing Sion here, by the way.
If they have a Trundle, would they kill Sion here?
What do you mean? It doesn't matter. They have such an insane
But at
use.
this point, you throw the game so hard, nothing matters. You can't win.
Keen is just like, he's looking at Ruler and Chubby. He's like, hold. Hold, keep
Guys?
pushing, hold.
Guys?
We're gonna get Keen, I promise. This entire clip is them trying to kill Keen while Chovy and Ruler win the game.
I mean, to be
Still
fair,
didn't kill him yet, by the way. Still alive, by the way.
Plus
Still Jack
100.
Show's running, by the way.
well, to be fair, I think at this point,
They didn't even get him, what did?
at this point, it doesn't matter. The whole point of this draft is all about snowballing early game and do not let Azure come having the fun lane. They did the job.
I want to
They
make
did
one
the job.
meta point overall about just all of the LCK. I'm starting to notice a bit of a worrying trend where teams cannot close games that they have massive leads on. It's not just D+. We saw it yesterday with HLE. We're seeing it today with KT. We're going to MSI. You win today, you win tomorrow, right? You got a top
3-0 und dann wird BLG kurz WI knallen. Das wäre ein perfekter Tag in den Samstag.
I think LCK as a whole needs to step it up a little bit with closing these games out.
Or you could say maybe this meta is just difficult to close out games if you're positive.
If you are like a very Hopium LCK fan, you could say that. But what you could also say is that KT had 3 Dragons.
We didn't do well with the last
Then they just, yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but I've been watching First Sun, you know, and 3-0, baby, 3-0.
Well, there's a one thing though.
It's true.
There's a one thing. KT had such a great draft plan, and I think it worked out. And maybe they should have the second plan as well. And the series is it's not done yet.
How did it work out? They lost. They had a great plan, and they lost.
They had a lead.
And they lost.
They had a lead.
They had a lead.
And they forgot.
Almost worked
win.
out.
Yeah, okay.
It almost worked.
You need very good mental strength to kind of bounce and keep going now, because you had a game you were about to win and you threw it. So now if in game 2 you have this bad state of mind, it's gonna just completely stumble into
It's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain.
I do have an update. Pony did just text me, and he said, "See, that's all he texted."
What does that even mean? They lost.
He just said, "See." I don't know, man. Pony is a knower. All I know is that we've got at least 2 more games of
Talion.
to figure out how to explain KT. Will it be in a victorious faction, or will it just be more of this Nexus trade kind of stuff? I don't know. Let's send it back on over to the casters for game number 2.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for that breakdown of game number 1. And I think Pony probably did the breakdown by himself. I think that's it. See? It is probably still a GENG 3-0. I assume that's the rest of the sentence that would come after that word.
I thought you were going to say that after that game, you could just say it's hard to explain.
That is also
If someone asks, so tell me about KT. It's pretty hard to explain. Yeah, we got a bit of everything in that game.
We really did.
And we still have the rest of this best of 5 ahead of us to look forward to. So,
And I think the best part about it is Pony didn't predict GENG to lose every game. He predicted KT to 3-2. So basically what he's saying is it's going to be exactly the same thing as when they faced off against D plus Kia, which KT solidly won one game in that series. And now they've lost a game, but they might be able to cause some shenanigans again moving into this game number 2 as we are into the draft.
Let's go.
Having a look at this train that could have either GENG
Gewinnt GENG? Ja.
through T1 tomorrow.
Okay, T3-2 weiß ich nicht. Hallo Ding außerdem.
Such a cute.
Es wird was, auf jeden Fall.
Daejon and Wonjo, like, Daejon's kind of on the way as well. Like, it's similar direction from Seoul-ish. At least I noticed the sign when I was driving over here.
Oh.
There was Daejon on one of the signs before I pulled off to head to Wonjo.
That's what you're basing all of your
Absolutely.
geographical understanding on.
Absolutely. Purely street signs in Korea.
Okay. Well, I mean,
If you ask me about where Bangladesh is, I'm going to have no idea because I haven't seen that street sign here in Korea just yet. As all right, the Nocturne going to be taken
Ja.
as well as the Varus so far.
Wo Bangladesh genau ist?
And the
Keine Ahnung.
Also removed. This time around,
Irgendwo bei Indien.
blue side, as GENG do have
Aber ich sag mal so, gib mir eine Weltkarte.
blue side after that.
yeah, so
In die Richtung werde ich noch kommen. Aber, also,
rise with the Nivea ban. Here, though, GENG maintains
Schwierig.
Jarvan ban. Obviously,
Schwierig.
because definitely a specialist on that pick.
Direkt neben Indien, super. Gib mir eine Weltkarte, wo ist Indien?
Engage junglers. Bard was
Da
banned.
kriegen wir schon irgendwo hin, ne?
Banned again by
So.
here, denying that away.
Wir kriegen schon irgendwo hin.
So, seeing all these junglers thinned out in this
Das ist schon machbar.
Um,
I'm intrigued about what the first pick is going to be. I don't have a strong feeling.
there is Rumble.
Ich weiß in etwa, wo die Saudis sind
Keen.
und dann rechts davon. Das weiß ich, aber
The choice here for Chovy has been a big one for
Indien kennt man zumindest in einer Form auf gar keinen Fall.
Period in like week 6.
Ich habe so, also ich weiß, wo die Saudis und Ägypter und so weiter sind und dann rechts davon.
We've often seen the likes of
Aber
picked into it, but for now it's going to be KT who
so
slams
spot on,
the Rumble.
vielleicht.
There's still
Vielleicht.
plenty of responses for Keen into this. We've seen Yorick do well, K'Sante,
Yep.
Galio.
Ich muss Epic Pen. Das war so ein Epic Pen.
I'm kind of feeling like Keen might go for the K'Sante route, but we'll see. Cuz we'll see whether it is going to be a jungle.
So, hier ist
Feels pretty good.
die Saudis und Ägypten und so weiter. Und dann irgendwo hier, direkt dann rechts davon, ist hier so Indien, oder nicht? Also das ist jetzt natürlich nicht accurate, of course, aber so in die Richtung.
So, now GENG with the ability to respond, I imagine K'Sante X is what's going to
Und
be.
dann irgendwo da ist Bangladesh.
Yeah, expectation that they'll
Indien ist direkt neben Bangladesh. Okay, rechts neben Indien. Okay, gotcha.
For Canyon, there's a lot of options, honestly. Wukong, Wukong is something we talk about all the time. They are just going to slam that down.
Just slam
Gucken,
them.
Annie, gehen bei Ari oder was?
Just go full Rise Group, baby.
Oder bei Aurora?
That's the Ambessa, so Keen going for a little bit more of a damage route.
And Bessa was another one of those picks that we saw early on into Rumble not doing so well, but then she got those buffs, more early damage, more healing on the ultimate, and she started to find more favor. So this is a lot of threat onto
Sind wir mit dem Mega-Draft zufrieden? Also nein, eigentlich nicht.
KT end up taking.
Also eigentlich, ist, based of yesterday, hätte auf jeden Fall Eintracht Spandau die Solari-Bombe tanken sollen.
Traveled Earth, a ton of value into this situation.
I mean, für mich ist fine, right? Ich will da Spandau höhere Chance dazu gewinnen.
Picks and really looking towards the bot lane as
Wie konnte KT Game 1 verlieren? Well, einfach outteamfighted und schlechter.
5v5s.
And two of the options for sort of noping out of the lane have been removed as well in the Mel and the Ziggs, the most popular of the mages to be utilized there on the bottom side. So should be an honest 80 carry battle between Ruler and Aiming.
I think the priority here is going to be on these longer range 80 carries. Jin is going to have a ton of value in this situation. Caitlyn, the Ashe ends up getting banned away, so no Ashe Seraphine. But we've seen countless times, especially when you have so much damage across the composition, Jin being able to follow up on things like the Equalize or the Annie Wukong, very powerful. And there's no one who's that tanky in this game. That
Also GENG könnte T1 besiegen, morgen, wenn es mal alles geht. Ich würde das schon hoffen, ne?
Yep. And there shouldn't be any of those options either, even with Aftershock being a little bit better on this patch. It is going to be Lulu taken away. That's going to be that first ban from GENG, denying both the weird Cogmore shenanigans that we saw yesterday and a sprinkling of earlier on.
Yeah, Lulu obviously offering a ton of peel, but also just
Eins hätte Solari nicht bekommen können, weil die in derselben Gruppe war. Ach so, funktioniert es so. Ich dachte, du kannst nur nicht Silver War bekommen.
wild growth on top of that.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wusste nicht, ob das, also weiß ich nicht.
On the bot
Kann
lane
sein.
matchup, it's interesting Caitlyn's still open and available right now, which is obviously something.
Also Caitlyn würdest du nicht spielen wollen? Sayaban ist gut.
Yesterday.
Ich fand, also als ADK will ich hier bei keinem Team Caitlyn spielen, persönlich. Auf keinen Fall will ich hier Ding spielen.
Yep.
Hat 1 gewonnen, Game 3, ja, die Pathetic Fucks. Lush Milio ist noch offen. Lush Milio ist offen.
One final ban here for GENG.
Sivir. Lush Milio und
I
Sivir.
mean, the Nautilus is still up, but GENG can lock that one down for themselves as the Poppy is going to be taken. All right.
Lush Milio und Sivir.
Effort, or will they go for Aiming's pick first?
If I'm KT in this situation, I feel like MF or Jin feel pretty good here. Senna just feels a bit squishy, even though obviously she can play a long range. But that can be also played in this situation. But I think a longer range AD carry makes a lot of sense. And you can pick that, and then you can obviously take kind of pick
Sivir macht am meisten Sinn.
the lane you have.
Oh, I hate it.
Jin for aiming.
All right.
I hate it.
Composition, and Jin pretty solid in lane. There's not much I feel like Genji can throw down here that would support kind of
Lush Milio
4K.
oder Sivir.
And what will Genji go for? I think there are support options if you want to be a bit more aggressive, like we talked about the Rakan syncing well with the composition, but also like Shen works pretty well too.
Well, that's a fun one.
On top of what they have, but they are going to go for that Senna.
All right. She's been creeping up.
Does have that long range, and also specifically into Vi. Vi has to see.
Oh, Senna. Senna not?
The Shroud to play
Prinz.
on, so
Ja, merken Genji schaffte deutlich mehr.
and it is just looking to be Senna Nautilus coming through.
Yep, I like the Nautilus denial as well as the pickup in the lane alongside the center because they don't have a lot of engage out of GENG. Yeah, they've got flash tibbers, but it's not exactly all that reliable. And so Duro now having a lot of agency here in this game. Effort with the ability to answer this though. We'll see what he is going to be picking up. For some reason, I feel like he's going to play Nico, but I don't know whether that is going to be something. We've seen Nico really fall out of favor.
Das hat sich gelohnt. Wir haben gerade Highlights gesehen.
Alistair's good. I think Shen's good.
Yeah, Alistair's a very fun one.
I think those are fine.
Yep, I like this a lot more.
Rel works too. I think just picking a strong melee engager in this situation. And it looks like it will just be that Rel.
Yeah, not sure.
Both teams, a lot of explosive power in their compositions, a longer range AD carry who will be vulnerable if connected onto. And we'll have to see how these team fights are played out. I do think that the Senna, I'm interested to see if Ruler does take the Deathfire touch that we've been seeing so much in solo queue. I was checking his solo queue, and he's been running it in solo queue.
Okay.
It'll be interesting if he doesn't take it when he gets to pro play and goes for the fleet footwork, as we've seen in the LCK. But I do feel like even though KT have a lot of that engage power,
Ich glaube, die haben keine Antwort auf die haben besser später.
and the
Das ist meine Befürchtung. Tatsächlich.
Getting some momentum early, and
Ich glaube, die haben besser später mit einem Maw wird nicht sterben.
if you get the ball rolling, both these compositions, so much mid-game team fighting power, whoever gets ahead, it's going to be hard to match them.
I would agree. And I find it really interesting that you're like, oh, it's all about Vitalia. Well, I mean, it's always all about BDD and Cuz. And whether or not they can get it together on the day. The early game in game number 1 was fantastic for KT. We'll see whether they can do it again. But I think this is a very different story, right? Last time, there were very different compositions. You know, very different win conditions, different ideas of how to play the game. I feel like there are so many similarities to how these compositions play out, where supports are trying to engage, trying to find those angles. We're all just trying to press our buttons together and allow our AD carries to carry in the later stages of the game, build the space for them and make it happen. And with both teams trying to do the same thing, we could have some explosive engages. Let's get into the rift for game number 2.
Let's go.
All right, Effort gonna clop away.
GT fighting. GENG fighting.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for game number 2. They're already getting a little bit of damage towards Chovy, but Chovy delivering a bit back himself. Just battling for control of the wave right now. The Pandemonium skin there for the Annie as well.
And we do have Deathfire Touch from Ruler. So finally, we get the Deathfire Touch Senna in the LCK that has been doing crazy numbers in solo queue. It's something like a 16 to 18% pick rate, similar ban rate, like a 55% win rate. It's insane right now. So
Wie ging MSI 1 und Evi aus? 1 hat 2-1 gewonnen und Evi hat 0-2 verloren. Und live danke für den 8. Dankeschön.
Touch was stronger and it was physical damage and would sync up with the Black Cleaver, but still very strong.
As Anchor is just going to find that cast minion in the back line. Really interesting that we had to move our expectations of this lane a little bit, but then move them back again now that both of these supports are playing Engage. It's sort of evened out. I feel like the Jin should once again have a fair bit of control in this lane, especially in the early levels. But Ruler is just going to infinitely scale. And we saw yesterday from Gumayushi shooting people from like off screen with an auto attack.
Yeah, it does get a bit crazy, but I think with these two compositions, even though there's obviously scaling elements like the Senna, who could become a big problem later on, I think just with the explosive engage potential from KT, if you reach Ruler and he dies, it doesn't matter how much range he has.
Ich glaube wirklich, also sie machen wirklich einen Punkt mit Senna, was fair ist, aber erneut, ich glaube, die haben besser als das größere Problem.
I do think that there's options no matter what for KT, unless they're extremely far behind. And a lot of it's going to come down to just execution. Who starts the fight first and leads the charge? Because both team comps, as you were saying before, play in a relatively similar way with how they want fights to start. And it is them being the initiators and picking off key targets.
Yep. I do think that KT are a little bit more single target in how they want to make things happen in the mid game around Cuz, right, with the cease and desist. Canyon definitely a lot more about I can knock everyone into the sky and we can then deliver all of the damage that way, but there is still so much AoE.
You say that, but then Keen and Duro are pretty single target and Perfect and Effort pretty AoE.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I feel like it balances out, yeah. It does feel very balanced.
Als von dem mehr Masters Draft, I mean, ich bin happy persönlich als Mensch, der mit den Spandau-Spielern befreundet ist.
Has always been something that can kill someone. Even if you're really far behind in the game.
Wäre ich jetzt Tolly, wäre ich jetzt nicht sehr zufrieden.
Those two follow-ups will certainly be able to get enough damage done.
Dann wäre ich nicht happy.
Capitalize from very far away. So I'm interested to see whether KT can actually once again find themselves a good early game. The problem is it's got to weigh on your mind that in the last game.
Wir gewinnen noch jeder Meta Draw. Ja.
And things all kind of fell apart.
Ja, ja.
Bit of a attempt.
Going back to yesterday again, the 17th time. Even
Also,
if they did win that game one, we saw them get the early lead and then falter times in that series. But they were still the team with the agency and eventually.
Ich sag mal so, ich bin morgen zum Halbfinale, bin ich nicht da. Also.
That will be their fate in this series. That yes, they did
Wird schon wahr.
But if they're the ones with the momentum, they can eventually just find a way to close the game out.
And I mean, they faltered in games 1 and 2 against D+ Kia just last weekend. And that worked out pretty well for them.
Warum nicht? Weil ich Fußball schauen gehe.
So showing some tenacity there. We'll see whether they can show
Wo geht's hin? Fußball schauen. Ich mache LPL-Finale morgen und dann bin ich weg. Bin abends wieder da für LCS-Finale, aber ja, Halbfinale werde ich wie auch nebenbei bei Tolly schauen wahrscheinlich. Ja, also ich vermute mal, dass Tolly nichts macht. Ja, ich habe für Fußball geholt, ja. Ich vermute mal, dass Tolkien machen wird und dann passt das auch. Dann passt das auch.
Yeah, actually just gonna miss because otherwise.
Und ich bin dann fürs Finale da, wenn Spandau gegen G2 Nord spielt.
As I was saying, most champions when in a rough time in lane happens, but Kalia in particular doesn't really get any lane power at all from Hero.
Oh dear, Ruler gonna have to flash. Does do so to get over the Vault Breaker. Cuz not investing his flash, understanding he can just come back and kill him next time.
Yeah, and Duro just not quite there in time. If he's in position, you can obviously disrupt the Vi, stop Cuz from going for the dash to force Ruler's flash, but he was a little bit later than the jungle support from KT. And it does mean that KT...
Wie hat Jenny das Game davor gewonnen? KT hat ein paar dumme Fehler gemacht und wurde auch teamfightet. Luca.
Yeah, they have to dip.
They just get out of there.
Sehr, sehr gutes Game von Chovy. Nicht so gutes Game von... Nicht so gutes Game von BDD, meiner Meinung nach.
Alright, Canyon just gonna start this up.
20 Serien bei 5 Minuten, lecker. Sehr, sehr, wow, warte mal, was?
GG2
und G2 Nord gegeneinander? Ich vermute gar nicht.
Will Cuz try and steal it.
Gibt doch die Roma.
Like the answer is no.
Yeah, they did lose.
Gibt doch die Liste von G2.
Thought that maybe KT were gonna go for something, but it looks like that is not going to be the angle. Aiming.
Sie haben sie in diesem Split zweimal gescrimmt. Am 5. Juni einmal 5-1 hat G2 Main Team gewonnen und dann am 15. Mai haben sie 3-1 gewonnen. Wo sehe ich die mehr Drafts? Auf meinem Discord. War ein bisschen noch nicht drauf. Arschloch. Aber hier.
And things slow down. It is a very even game state, though, in this early game.
Yeah.
I think that both of us are kind of
Gewinner von hier war Free-Finale. Die beiden Teams sind nicht gut. Gewinner hiervon ist im Finale, 100%. Diese Teams hier sind Frauds. Und hier kracht's. Galios im Halbfinale wartet wahrscheinlich.
Ja.
Luki sagt, ich habe kein KCB spielen sehen können bisher. Das ist der Joke. Schön gespielt von Keen. Sehr schön von Keen, Mann. Oh, Beauty. Wie gut ist Heretics? Also anscheinend sollen sie legit sein. Auch da, ich habe kein Game gesehen. Ich kann es nicht sagen. Wow. Was halten wir vom spanischen Team ohne Spanier? Also es ist crazy to me, dass die es hier rausgeschafft haben. No joke, das ist so ein disgusting Roster. Ehrlich. So ein disgusting Roster. Also Ruler geht sehr, sehr gut, by the way. Stacktechnisch.
So the big thing is
schön gebuffert.
Ja. The Vi just means all the follow-up is missing. Like the equalizer, everything was over there, where his original position
richtig schön.
All that damage missing.
Komplett.
He's able to survive long enough.
Ja, gemeint, Achterbahn.
So Keen landing that ultimate as
Unterhaltsam Achterbahn.
Just the fact that he buffered the ult, but the fact he lands it so he can move away from where they were trying to target him down makes all the difference.
Beautifully played. And what he said there was, find no flash. And
Peter war sehr schlecht dieses Jahr. Also wirklich sehr, sehr schlecht dieses Jahr. Sowohl Peter als auch Dr.
Is going to be able to stun him up. The rest of GENG though just going to get pushed away from this bottom side. KT now with a slight gold advantage, largely due to aiming being a bit further ahead than this center. That is kind of what we expect in this bottom lane, as you stated earlier, Ox. So everything kind of going to plan here for both teams.
You have the early Dirk coming out from aiming. He's going to likely be going towards
the
blade. And it does mean that you're a little bit later on your item spikes when you go towards that. Be getting like LDR and IE together. You see Perfect getting some good lane pressure here onto Keen right now.
Yeah. The burn earn value.
Auch noch beide Teams kann ich sparen, ja. Papi Timo bei Heretics ist Portugiese at least.
Still has no flash.
Oh dear. There is the
Immerhin.
And down will go Ruler.
Das Lineal ist dort.
But he is not going to live. Sometimes you just like to press R before you die.
Ein BLG und C9 verlieren. Schlimmer Tag.
To be honest, you were just beyond dead as soon as they showed up.
It's pretty handy that you can just like channel the ultimate, and if it doesn't go off, then you get the cooldown refund.
Yeah, otherwise
so you may as well party with that one.
That would be. I mean, to be honest, I think even if it'd gone off, he's probably just dead and it's just wasted.
Yeah, no, he's probably glad that they killed him in time.
Yeah. So good gank again by KT, able to capitalize on that window where his flash just isn't quite available. They knew that Duro had shown up in the mid lane. And here, the CC layering is really good. That knockoff from Effort as well, knocking him just a little bit away from the turret. It wasn't the hardest play to pull off, but I think they just did everything right in that situation.
Yep. And that means 1,000 gold, the lead here.
Wenn Joey Tomlin spielen, bestimmt.
3 grubs though over to GENG. They do have the first Drake. Next
Guter Spieler.
45 seconds. So it's a bit more of a neutral objective.
Gleich mal gespielt, Jesus Maria.
Last time KT
Ein Glück sind wir in besseren Zeiten inzwischen.
on that one, even though it was 2 grubs in favor of GENG. This time though it's 3. That feels pretty nice. As now KT are closing in on Duro. This time though he's not playing Karma. He is a little tankier with his Aftershock.
So notably, aiming has the Ghost Blade completed, and Ruler's yet to finish his first item. So missing out on that spike currently. Both junglers with item completions though.
Yeah. Sundered Sky into the Trinity Force. We're looking for an angle here towards BDD, though, is now going to get the flash out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chovy just didn't quite have the stun ready in time. Otherwise, I think BDD is just dead. But the flash is still an easy pickup for very little in terms of resources expended.
Yep, teleport back to the top lane here for Keen. As Perfect just teleported himself. So a 4v4 if they are going to fight for this dragon. It looks like Cuz might be thinking about it as they do move themselves over.
I think GENG feel happy about that because the Rumble Equalizer has so much impact.
Yeah.
He's
friend
still yet to complete his first item. We know that first item spike on the Ambessa, very significant. So they will end up picking the second dragon up. And Max,
It happened!
it happened.
We did it! Thank you so much. And Ox, this is a lot to do with you as well, right? No Chemtech, either game. It was available, and we just shunned it. We got Earthwind and...
Nach wie Bug fixed.
It's not September yet, so we're going to take that one off the playlist.
Also ich habe den Tweet von SpiderX gesehen.
Great.
Yep.
It's all right.
Ich weiß nicht, ob das schon gehotfixt wurde.
Vision down in this
Aber wenn
mid
Faith sagt, es wurde gehotfixt,
lane. And we've got
dann
aiming in the top side this time around, trying to grab some plates up there.
26-12 Patch Notes.
As there is the crash down, flash out from Duro, but he immediately gets encountered by Cuz.
Duro.
He's able to throw him towards the sky. There's the blast cone, but Effort gets into position. Dawning Shadow to try and keep Duro alive. He's
Duro.
still alive as the curtains were called. He's finally
Boah, dass sie einen One-for-One rausholen.
support for support.
I think they could have done a better job of blocking those Jhin bullets, if I'm going to be honest. Canyon,
I don't know, Duro did a great job.
Canyon just kind of letting his support die. But they do trade one.
3 Grubbies plus 2 Drakies. Aha. Eigentlich soll er fixen. Ich weiß nicht, ob er hotfixed, also ich weiß nicht, ob er hotfixed wurde. Ich habe den Tweet von SpiderX gesehen, dass auf jeden Fall auf dem PBE gefixt wurde.
From the Deadly Flourish.
Aber ich weiß nicht.
Nice little sidestep.
Okay, warte, wir machen das kurz.
Towards his Krugs. That is where he's going. I feel like Perfect has had a lot of control in this lane, but I'm not really seeing it represented in the farm or the money or anything like
Keine
that.
Sorge,
As far as his top lane back.
der Coachstreamer des
Let's
Vertrauens.
have a look at this one though.
So this looks a little silly from Duro, but the thing is, they've been fighting constantly and nothing's happened. And then
Was sagst du, Locke? Ich weiß nicht, ob er Monster Damage hat.
No. Canyon got stunned there and his clone wasn't quite blocking, so I guess I give him a pass on that one. Not quite like the effort for Krill from the previous game.
No, not quite there yet. As Chovy just going to be clearing out some minions. He's had a relatively quiet one, but when Chovy
gefixt.
has a quiet game, he generally goes up about 20 CS, and that's precisely what's happened here. And so the
Good
enemy
minions.
is feeling pretty strong, although
Fixing
not
practice too, yep,
getting
same.
just yet. Does have his dash cannon though. Feels very, very good.
I mean, the significant thing is aiming is really far ahead in the bot lane, having picked up his second kill, and
Ja, der ist auch ein ganzes Level ahead bei Aiming tatsächlich.
then a Jhin who is just even in parity with items compared to...
Kann sein, dass Excellent
Shadow,
funktioniert,
for
das
example.
wüsste ich nicht.
Well, that is the example in this game.
Wow, that worked out very well.
Yeah, in your favor.
Ruler 16 gut.
Certainly see the value for the Jhin.
Stark nachgelassen, oder? Mal schauen.
Stage. I'm trying my very best to stay impartial as Keen. Perfect execution going to get flashed there by Perfect. And by perfect execution, I mean public execution.
Yeah,
I would,
it would have been a perfect execution if you got hit by it.
Yeah, and could have been Akali. And hitting Akali's ultimate is a little bit of a different story.
Chovy.
Chovy here. Effort going to be moving on over. There's the Magnastorm to hold him in position. And he needs to get out of the way of the seismic shove. He does manage to pass that test, but now the curtains have been called. Oh my goodness. Dodges the last one though. We just need an auto from BDD and they do manage to take him
Scheiß
down.
Freak.
Just not quite enough able to rely on the turret.
Yeah, Chovy trying everything he can there, using Tibbers at the end to block the rocks from BDD, but he just throws on with his hand.
Yeah.
That's enough to take him
I mean,
down.
beide Carries von KT sind sehr gut im Saft.
As we're going to have a look at this matchup between our top laners in this bottom lane. We don't quite have the Leandri's done for Perfect. He's going to feel a lot better when that comes in, but Keen very close to the Eclipse. He's also very...
Also wirklich sehr, sehr gut im Saft.
Now just done for BDD as we have a look at this play one more time.
Yeah, so starts moving backwards, expecting a dive, and then BDD goes in with the ultimate, flashes away from the Deadly Flourish because he knows a seismic shove is guaranteed afterwards, but then he's in this uncomfortable position. There's not really any way he can get out. And yeah, moves Tibbers in front and just gets an auto to the head is enough. Now Canyon looking for perfect here. With no
Okay.
flash, this should be an easy dive.
Yep, Equalizer is going to come down, so they will at least be able to have Perfect deal with the wave. Flash out from Keen to make sure that he
Gut
doesn't
gelöst von
die.
Perfect.
Crash down from Effort to get over to a blast cone. And then to get pulled back by Duro and probably killed. There's a
Und die
great
Map
first
explodiert,
shot
oder
from
was?
BDD.
Flash aus bei
Comes over to
Effort.
save the day. And Deadly Flourish connects onto Chovy. It's a fair bit of damage there. Is now aiming. Wants to have another
Keine
one.
Wukong-Ulti für den Drake.
Doesn't quite have it back up just yet. And KT will now just move over towards this mid lane.
Aiming, not having ult there is really what allowed GenG just to limit.
Oh, perfect Overstay. Kino Overstay. Hat Ulti.
Now looking for BDD. BDD has flash.
Well, the Tibbers is going to come down from the sky and the Anchor is not
Die sind so
steal the
geil.
kill. That's gonna go
In solchen Momenten, das ist halt so geil, dass er dein Base cancelt, Overstayt und dementsprechend dann den Advantage rausholt für den Drake, indem sie den Play machen. Das ist so geil.
He's flash Tibbersing you. He just ran at you. And the late flash was a little bit ambitious there. KT still managed to get that mid tower though, so they at least get something for that they can be happy about. But BDD being down, flash and dying anyway does not feel so good.
Now, Soul Point available for GenG if they would like to get over towards this dragon. I imagine this one is one that KT are going to fight for.
Yeah, BDD is going to be late though. No TP, and I mean he has the Weaver's Wall to get there quicker.
They have been able to control this area quite nicely though. Control vision is now in the Banana Brush. They've got captive audience, things like that.
Not interested. I think the ult economy not in their favor with Cyclone down, Public Execution
Interesting.
down, Tibbers and
Mein Appell, 11 Uhr.
that.
Einfach auf 3-0 hier hoffen.
We can give it up. We can play for top instead.
Exactly what they're going to do. So first one for KT on the board as BDD might be targeted once again. And yeah, Canyon comes in, finds that.
Da den E zu benutzen, natürlich Terror. Also das hier wird sehr wahrscheinlich 2-0 und dann müssen wir auf 3-0 hoffen.
Kill, and so that is now
Und dann kommen wir perfekt für LP. Das ist
in
top.
quick succession.
Yeah, punished there, and I mean you have to go back to the previous play when he burnt his flash when he was kind of dead anyway.
BLG gewinnen 3-0.
And when he still doesn't have
Ich glaube, ich glaube, WE wird heute wirklich komplett geschlachtet.
And Perfect just walks away.
The walk away.
Wir sind gerade beim 15-1, also 15-1 Run auf dem Weg dahin.
Pulls it off.
Durchs Lower Bracket. Momentan sind wir bei 9-1.
Up. I just never would have thought of it. As all right, Keen not going to be breaking that crystalline overgrowth just yet. Wants to deny as many minions as possible, and will finally take it down with only one left. Clears out the wave. So this Ambessa going to move to a 1.2k gold advantage, and you can see the CS numbers aren't crazy, but with the kill, the assists, and all of that turret money,
40 Stacks für Ruler. Extrem wenig, ne? Wenn wir überlegen, wie die ersten 10 Minuten liefen. Das ist krank.
Such a big spike for the Wukong.
Oh, yeah, this is just trading mid laners over and over again. Crash down from effort is going to connect, and BDD is going to get some revenge as Tib is also taken out.
I'm going to say it. This is normally the top laner's fate. So
yeah,
Keen and Perfect are kind of happy seeing it not be them. That being said,
yeah, Keen is going to, I guess, feel jealous. I don't know, as he is going to potentially have a little bit to deal with.
So viel Damage schon besser, Mann.
The wave, and he will be all right.
Yeah, without the Vial, and also being that Keen is pretty tanky, pretty hard to deal with, they don't end up messing with GenG's top laner in that situation.
Besser is getting strong. The Eclipse spike, man, it is just kind of crazy. 5 seconds on Chovy. He'll be back up again. No teleport, but he can run real fast. Didn't go for the Swifties this time. I feel like we've seen a lot of Swifties, Annie, this time around going for a little bit more of the damage vibe, which I don't mind. It's just a little bit of a change. We know that Chovy does really like having a bit of added movement speed.
And a dash.
So, beste Genre Play mit Ruler kannst du spielen, ja. Gegen wen spielt der Nummer 2 dann bei MSI? Weiß man das schon? Ja. GENG, KT oder T1? NA Nummer 2, EU Nummer 2, LCK Nummer 2. Spielen gegen GENG, KT oder T1. Und nur ein einziges Team kommt weiter in die Mainstage.
Okay, well, Chovy is going to get discovered by Cuz, but Cuz
is
underneath the turret this time around.
Aber hier wird OP, ich glaube, besser ist extrem stark. Ich glaube, seit den Buffs.
Effort is going to move in as well. All right, how do we magic our way out of this one? Is you don't. That's the answer.
Ich glaube, seit den Buffs ist der Champion wirklich stark. Also die Ulti-Nerfs und dann schaut Chovys Gesicht.
I think after game 1 and what he did in the ML, but it's not exactly a good trade.
Ja, seit dem Buffs Champion ist super stark. Ich glaube, einfach zu wenig gespielt. Wahrscheinlich in eher als, honestly. Healing ist insane. Was gibt hier 3 Mage-Boots? Das sind dieselben Boots wie letztes Jahr, die du kaufen konntest. Goldhand ist es nicht worth it, ja, natürlich. Ja.
I think just so. Oh, TP coming in.
Johnny.
Get in range of the Wukong.
Decent assist, does manage to find him here as the Weaver's Wall comes on through. There's a public execution though as they're looking on top of Canyon, but he makes his way out. His health bar is now too low.
Ja.
They're going to have to back away. Flash out from Perfect. No equalizer. And Keen is going to back away and let them live. Looks like Baron not going to be on the cards. It's only 21 minutes into the game, but man, there's so much jostling for position. I can't believe no one died.
Jostling.
I mean, they were looking for it. KT just
Was hat Angst, dass schon wieder geredet
If they get this
5 gegen 3, die haben, also erneut.
go for the Baron.
Größtes Ding hier im Draft, die haben ganz oft Zeit angesprochen. Ich finde, also ich habe gesagt, ich glaube, die haben keinen Damage für sich. Am besser.
Respect the turnaround potential. Level 50.
Die müssen Ulti auf jeden Fall auf am besser benutzen, glaube ich, sonst haben wir ein Problem. Aber wenn Keen halt gut Ult buffert auf die Vi-Ulti,
And with Dragon
auch problematisch.
seconds, this is a major point of the game.
Yeah. Well, as far as ultimates are concerned, cease and desist is quite a ways away. There is a curtain call and a magnet storm, which could be important for KT, but on the other side, it's just Tibbers and a depth charge. So GENG also a little bit worse for as far as that is concerned. Great buffer, but now going to get tagged, and Duro gonna have to flash to get out of the way. That
Keen stark.
by Keen, and Duro gonna get barbecued by Perfect.
Equalizer dafür aber.
The equalizer for it though is now Canyon.
Equalizer und Vi-Ulti raus. Hey, what?
That he has to teleport to get out of this
Lol.
one. And we'll be able to do that.
Kommt von den Nummer 2 zu ein Team weiter? Korrekt. Korea Nummer 2
In
weiterkommt.
order to get it.
Yeah, I think GENG can fight this 4v5. With the fact that the equalizer and the curtain calls down, it's a lot of power budget unavailable. I think there's still a chance they can take this.
Well, let's see whether they go for it. You can see them lurking in the area as Jonas Strong does.
Er hat kein Flash.
It's on our toes. Canyon gets in there. Effort with the Shattering Strike. This is going to be a 50-50 most likely, but there's cease and desist.
Ja, schaut auf Keen in der Backline. Geklaut hat Drake.
There is the steal from Canyon.
Yep.
And Cuz goes down as well. It's a disaster. For
Yep.
KT.
Hat T1 gestern gewonnen? Nope.
Yeah.
1-3 verloren.
Flamethrower is also going to be removed. It's a double for Chovy. And you were right, Ox. Yeah, I think
Und China hat saved. Genau. Genau.
Prove me right.
Spot on.
Canyon goes into the pit and the focus ends up being on him to try and stop the smite, but
Keen ist auch jetzt Level 16.
causes so much disruption. The
Gehen wir einfach repeat? Nein.
in this situation.
Ganz anders. Dieses Game viel
He's trying to play
solider für GENG.
Banana Brush, and there was a lot of that last game from Chovy. I think KT got a little sick of it. This was a great block from Keen, and this is significant because this essentially forces the equalizer.
Ja.
Yeah.
So, even though Duro goes down, you force another big budget ultimate, and then in this fight, so much focus is on Canyon
Schau auf
to
Keen.
deny him access, but we get the Wukong Annie combo just melting Effort and Cuz here.
Aiming fängt an zu hitten, wenn der Fight quasi vorbei ist.
Forward and just free hitting in this situation. Keen is just such a monster, so hard to deal with. And not only do they not
1 gegen Heretics, machbar.
but they also just
Gerücht auf der Straße ist, dass sie einen guten Scrim-Record gegen die hatten. Oder haben.
Doing kind of untouched, good sidestep on the last seismic shove, but that was the first time that he was in any sort of danger or under any sort of fire from KT.
Aber die haben halt gestern auch 3 Games gegen Anubis gebraucht, also.
As this game goes on, she's going
Hey.
to become more and more of a problem already with 2 items completed. As Cuz looking for Duro once again. Cease and desist on to Ruler though, as I think they have done their homework, but the bear is going to come down from the sky. And
Oof.
Cuz able to get himself out of the way.
Loge, danke für den 7. Ne?
Moving on in, Dawning Shadow avoided. There by the Vi. And Effort able to crash his way out.
Keiner stirbt hier. Und da bist du was bei Ruler.
From KT. Kind of
Oh.
working inside.
King stirbt.
Pulls him back. And
Unless-
King gonna have to try and commit. They do manage to take down Effort, but now the depth
Ui.
charge onto Perfect comes in, and the curtains have been called. The decoy gonna block a lot of bullets, but GENG will be able to walk their way out, and it's a 1-for-1 in the end.
yeah, but losing Keen definitely does not feel good.
Aber wenn die Invitation eigentlich Qualifier ist, okay, also.
Played fight from GENG. So this is a mistake from Ruler.
Check, worauf du hinaus willst.
He pops his shroud, and then he can't actually be ulted by Cuz, but he starts attacking. And that gives Cuz vision to ult him, so he has to flash over the wall. He should have just walked away. Duro would have been fine for a little bit longer. And then the ensuing fight, they try to chase them down, but this seismic shove that comes in after, so first they get the root, and then BDD dashing in to get that flick. So nice, and Keen, still very scary. Does manage to trade 1-for-1, but it's a lot less
Keine Sums bei Ruler.
effort. And now you're seeing a situation where Ruler doesn't have flash, so he's a much more viable target going into the next fight.
And aiming as well, Mortal Reminder is completed. And he's getting closer and closer to Infinity Edge's item number 4.
Yeah, didn't go for the Storm Razor third, so just wants to get that Armor Pen and IE online. As we know, Jin really benefits from those items being completed.
Yep, I respect it. 4-0-2.
Wukong GA fertig.
So he is definitely what KT are going to be relying on here. GENG with that soul point, though, minute and a half on this next dragon. Mountain Soul will make the Jin's life a living hell, trying to get through all of these shields over and over again. And KT, it's not like they have a lot of, tank busting necessarily. There is a Mortal Reminder obviously still there, but Jin is not known for being able to kill the bulkier targets, and everyone's going to kind of be a bulky target here for GENG if they do manage to lock down that Mountain Soul. Still, only about 2,500 gold
X-Optics fertig.
here for GENG. This is certainly the closest one we've had so far today out of the 2 games that we have had. 4 turrets to 3, some standing gold there for KT, I guess you could say.
Closest of 2 is not impressive.
It's not, that's a
6-7 souls.
Yeah.
One will be closer than the other.
Ja, legit, mir ist gerade aufgefallen.
There you go. That's the kind of stats that I'm into. Just give me the obvious and I'll say it.
So you can see KT getting control of the area, which is really big, considering Canyon no flash, Ruler no flash, and they have to push forward to contest this. Trying to clear out this vision that Effort's getting down. He's now out of wards completely, so wanting to get a recall in, but it's a little bit late. Not sure you're going to have time for that. And that means that every ward GENG clears out here can't be replaced. So really makes it awkward for KT. They give up control of the area, the sweeper's going to find another one, and suddenly KT just have no vision of the area.
It's very dark right now.
You get the recall coming in from Effort, fully stocked on those regular wards. Doesn't get a control ward though. I think you could have sold as refillable and got a control ward, if I'm being honest there.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Control wards very cheap when you have the support quest completed.
Exactly. Effort is now moving towards Keen, looking for a bit of an angle here as he doesn't find the Shattering Strike. There's the crash down as Public Execution not trying to connect.
Oh.
He's trying to get himself out of there, but
No.
finds the backline.
GG.
Going to get executed by the Dawning Shadow. Decent flick there from PDD, but they've missed out on so much of their damage.
Ja, die W zählt nicht mal als Ulti. Haben wir gerade schon gesehen.
Absolutely nothing, and now the Piercing Darkness from Ruler.
Oh mein Gott, da hat sie festchecken.
GENG just moving forward like a freight train.
Getting control of the area, just
3-0, 3-0.
chances of
3-0 to BLG.
in and stealing this one. Duro's playing Bouncer, as is Keen.
All right.
And this could just be sold for GENG.
It should be. And it feels so methodical from GENG today. This feels like last year where they were just kind of winning everything forever and there just wasn't a whole lot of doubt. That's what GENG kind of making me feel like now. The last game, a little bit of a different story. This one, slow moving, but definitely dominating.
So they try to go aggressive on Keen, but it's kind of half-hearted, and Canyon finds beautiful flank behind.
Ist ein guter Flank.
Ends up flashing a straight line and is still caught out by Duro, and immediately
Ist ein guter Flank.
the fight is over. You've lost your Jin, who you want to be sitting back at max range. It was just a beautiful flank angle from Canyon there. And I am going to say something.
Muss Jin Serpents gehen, dann werden die niemals Damage haben.
Oh, okay.
No way. Both supports don't have control wards now, so
And
I
there's also a
apologize.
control ward in his inventory, and it would be in the
Vorteil hat gerade mit Fischen gespammt.
Slander towards Effort.
Was ist mit meinen Fische?
When he recalled.
yeah.
Apologies.
Rest in peace. Grüß Gott.
I was a bit
Grüß
confused
Gott.
as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say anything because I also didn't know whether the overlay was okay. All right. We do now have GENG positioned around the Baron. And I'm just getting so frightened for what Ruler's going to be capable of as this game continues.
So,
He's now got another
NBA-Experten.
3.5 items.
Ist es Burst in 7
Yeah, once he gets rapid fire, it's
oder ist es Nix in 5?
just harass people from such a long distance away.
Tim Villas ist großer
Yeah.
This is the point
Believer in Spurs in 7.
And a big difference between this current
Nix in
and
6.
center we used to see is you get
Okay.
levels, you get gold. I think one of the issues I often had with teams playing fasting center is they would struggle to find that transition point.
Na dann.
To start farming and stop fasting. It's but with just farming in this situation, Ruler is very strong. And KT trying to threaten here and approach this Baron, but
Could be dangerous. Perfect has a decent angle for the equalizer as well as they get a nice flick back onto
Wow,
Duro.
Kino,
Public
he missed.
execution going to be avoided.
oh, if it was the old one, that would have connected, but it's
Oh, yeah.
a lot slower now after the nerfs. So Genji start the Baron back away.
Ich glaube, die verlieren heute extra, damit sie es zu Hause holen können. Ah.
Successful with it.
Get them off it. It is kind of frustrating, though, for KT, right? Because now Genji are out of combat for a couple of seconds, and then they get a big old shield back again.
Yeah.
It feels like all of that work that KT did to try and soften up Duro is kind of doing nothing at all. Infinity Edge finally completed here for aiming, though. He does do damage now.
I mean, considering how bursty these
Macht keinen Damage.
the mountain shield
By the way.
does go a long
Ist ein
way.
bisschen Cap, macht keinen Damage.
So squishy. IE has just come in for aiming though, which is a big
Ich glaube,
spike.
Keen hat auch fast seinen Deathsness fertig.
Feel very strong on the back of that. But I think Ruler should have rapid fire done. If not on his next recall, very close. I think he's probably waiting to have enough gold to recall.
Yeah, he's on
Wir können Genji Game 1 noch gewinnen. KT hat nicht gut executed.
over there unless he needs to kill a popcorn chicken or a minion wave in order
Meiner
to
Meinung
get a
nach.
little bit of
Genji hat
money.
Fights ganz geil gespielt.
That's all right.
Mit individuellen fetten Ins von Effort.
Too much of an issue there. All right, and here's that moment. Ox, that rapid fire cannon is going. So 4 items equalizing that of the Jin.
Das ist ein fertiger Step-Stance bei Keen und damit haben sie kein Damage mehr.
Center, because suddenly you can actually put down your damage without being in engage range.
Oh nee, er geht GA sogar.
From Cuz. I mean, a flash ult would catch you, but you're far enough away that you can flash out and he's just miles away from everything.
Yeah.
But just an ult. Cuz can't just
Danke für 85er Streak.
start ulting him. You have enough range with the rapid fire.
Oh wow.
Oh dear. Canyon is
Wie, da reinzulaufen, das ist ein Jungler-Movement.
able to dash cannon, but doesn't have an inner turret here. He's just able to run fast enough, was about to get on his surfboard, so everything is all right.
GG, geklaut ist geil.
Bit of a jump scare there for BDD.
Ah nee, Gold ist geil.
A little bit spooky.
Aber beides valid.
Game as well. You can see Genji fully setting up around this Baron. They don't want to make it
Hey, Wookie-Ulti ist natürlich ein Baba.
this objective. With Ruler's range as well, so hard for KT to step up.
No Cyclone now, though, as that was used on BDD for not a whole lot of gain. Might be a bit of an angle, and KT, I think they think so too. Teleport comes in from BDD. Duro off to the side. Canyon with his Guardian Angel. Still up and at the ready. Genji looking for it here. As Cuz can always pull the
Guck
trigger.
auf BDD.
The target they're looking for. The anchor goes wide, though. Deadly Flourish.
Rocket bei Talia, das ist vielleicht die größte Frechheit in recent times.
And Duro gets punched by Cuz. Equalizer, and Duro just walks
Lol.
the whole way. Curtain call.
Egal, Keen in der Backline.
Has max range, but it's a massive bear from the sky
GG.
from Chovy. And it's now Keen able to dash around the battlefield. Cuz is wiped out. And it's only the bottom lane left.
So much of the focus from KT was on
Keen hat
the
immer geflasht.
Brawlers. They lost track.
Ja, ja, wieder Equalizer auf Nautilus.
Yeah, and
Wie willst du
Jovi
gewinnen?
comes in and gets a humongous ult. Devastating all off KT. We can see
Rocket
how
Belt auf Talia, Junge.
engage on a BDD is
Nicht mehr.
unsuccessful. But they move forward and they kind of just beeline in. And look at this clump that ends up coming round to the top side. It's Keen who starts with the ult.
Schöner Flashing Edge von Chovy.
Chovy
Also
is
schön von Keen plus Chovy.
Triple stun instantly ends the fight. That was beautiful from Genji. Keen and Chovy working in perfect unison there.
Not to mention Ruler there as well. Always able to offer that damage over the top. So really nicely done. Great Wombo combo, but KT...
So, machen wir fertig. Wir müssen nämlich noch ein Game 3 reinbekommen bis 11 Uhr.
30 seconds until this Elder Drake.
What's crazy there
Ach,
is that all the top side of KT had fire.
Oh no! Cyclone comes down yet again. Effort knows that he has to invest everything just to keep himself safe. And that's a decent shattering strike, but another Cyclone does come in. And now the rest of Genji are closing. Effort will be able to get himself out of there relatively safely, but look at how far they've been pushed away from this Elder Pit.
Yeah, pushes them away, and even though you burn the Cyclone, it also burns Effort's Flash and Ultimate, which are big team fighting tools as well. So you're feeling great about this, continuing the siege. And the center with the rapid fire is a monster.
Brasilien Sieg und Schweiz knallt Katar.
Very annoying to deal with.
Yep, you can see aiming, just walking incredibly slowly, trying to escape all of this as Effort now at least has his health bar back. Chovy
hat kein Flash. Und die haben auch kein Multi.
To get himself out of the way, Dawning Shadow is going to be there as now Effort.
Die wurde gestern Abend gelost. G2 Nord gegen Solari, Spandau gegen Heretics Academy.
Cuz doesn't ult, but he's now got no flash, so it's going to be hard to find a window. Ruler playing pretty aggressive. Oh,
Da war auch noch der Antwort, ihr seid solche Hater.
Something for KT.
Ihr seid solche Hater.
towards the Elder, KT, you have to rush in if they want to be able to contest.
Heißt, beide sind heute raus. Spandau kann gewinnen. Ich glaube, G2 Nord ist over. Solar ist stark, Solar ist der Endgegner, ja.
Well, the rest of GENG are still going to be here. The public excuse.
Aber wenn G2 es schafft zu gewinnen, dann wäre es natürlich sehr gut. Ja, kein Damage für, angesprochen im Draft, kein Damage für Keen.
Perfect now trying to get something done. Goes gold in the last moment, but does nothing at all.
Schweiz nicht gut bei MMS und Marco macht das halt knapp. Okay.
Looking to try and prove it against
Wir hören uns
GENG
morgen.
once again. This is going to be the inhibitor turret going down, and this should be the end of the game and match point already for GENG.
GG.
GENG end up crushing KT there. They try and approach to contest the Elder, but
Keine Antwort.
Chovy absolutely on fire in
Das war aber
this
klar.
game, and BDD
So, bin kurz duschen, ne? Dann bin ich ready für LPL. Direkt. Bis gleich.
but the next will not.
And man,
Die United eine Chance, entweder Ding win oder...
great start. This game really felt like GENG had all of the cards the entirety of the time. A chokehold over this one. And I'm wondering what Pony's message is going
Also,
to be.
ja, by the way, also,
I think Canyon had a pretty phenomenal game on the Wukong.
Also
on
ganz
this
kurz,
one,
ne?
But also just the solo lane is
By the way,
such a problem. Even
wenn das, also, nein, Schweiz wird die heute knallen, bin ich mir sicher, wenn das, nein, also, das kann, das ist scheißegal, wie schlecht Schweiz war, das gibt nichts.
massive. And we were talking about how both team compositions had this
Ja, kurz duschen, bis gleich.
long range follow-up. The execution from GENG was just a level above.
Certainly was, and I feel like the utilization of Rumble in these team fights didn't necessarily work out, but the way sort of GENG played around the equalizer, not actually funneling in anywhere. They were the ones that made sure that all of their ducks were in a row, and then just picked their targets and destroyed them. You can see, able to create a very, very large gold lead towards the very end of that game, but it was very slow and methodical after that mid-game where KT were able to find some advantages. However, ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 5. And the last time KT were in a best of 5 and they were down 0-2, they came back and won the series. So don't worry, this could still go the distance. We could be waving phones around in a few hours' time. You know, let's go to a short break. When we get back to space, gonna let us know whether it's gonna be possible.
이거 바이
나오는 거 막으면 될 것 같은데?
나 지금 미드 얼굴 보이고 있어.
우리 여기서 나오는 거 막으면 3대4도 이길만 하거든? 이길만 해. 내일 노플이라고 생각해.
수박하면 나 그냥 공도 나올게 제가.
나도 출발할게. 야, 우리 싸운다. 봐줘야 돼. 진 노플.
잡았어.
봐줘. 안 될 것 같아. 나 김행이야. 끝났네? 노플 있긴 해요, 형.
나 스턴 1초.
노플.
I'll make this quick. Stay back! Don't do this. Here we go.
This doesn't mean we're even.
It's good to see you too.
MSI 팬페스타가 좀 잘 돼야 되니까 이런저런 얘기 들어보려고 회의 한번 모아봤습니다.
저 팬페스타 참가 조건을 전원 가렌 코스프레 하는 건 어떨까요?
팬분들 전원에게 대전의 명물 튀김 소보루 증정 어떻습니까? 와 미쳤다. 이거 크랙이다. 이거 튀김 소보루는 완전히 인정입니다.
근데 그건 사실 예산 문제.
아니면 그거 어때? 꿀잼 도시 대전이니까 행사장에서 안 웃으면 쫓겨나는 거야. 너 진짜 천재 아니야? 이거 괜찮은데요?
자 그럼 일단 어느 정도 아이디어가 나왔어요?
아니요 크리쌤님 하나도 안 나왔어. 아무래도 망한 것 같아요.
근데 저기 빅나 선수 아니에요? 닮은 사람 아니에요?
빅나 선수 혹시 좋은 아이디어 있어요?
사실 제가 대전 출신이어서 대전의 자랑 빅나 동상을 세우는 건 어떨까요?
대전의 자랑 바이퍼 아니야?
듣자 하니 도저히 안 되겠다 싶더라고요. 결국 제가 나서기로 했습니다.
비상!
재미있게 놀 수 있는 여러 가지 프로그램 그리고 여기서만 받아갈 수 있는 것.
드디어 퍼즐이 완성되는 느낌이더라고요.
팬분들은 결국 이런 걸 원하거든요. 대전에서 뵙겠습니다.
Every sky is a line I'm drawn. Cut by cut, mark by mark, my name forever in the stone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the DB Promi Wonju Arena, where it is GENG up 2-0 against KT. That last game, again, a little bit harder to explain, but we could comfortably say that GENG were in control until one big fight, then they really took over here.
I mean, I think that was a lot easier than game one. I think game two, it was clearly KT having the early game team comp, and they failed to snowball.
Like Degon did yesterday, I think I'm going to be honest, I think I had a pretty good read on this series.
You did?
I did. I think I kind of predicted this outcome. And I'm not trying to kind of brag or say I knew it was going to happen, but you know, it's looking like it's going to be a 3-0. I think I kind of saw this one coming.
Wait. So don't you think that there is actually a perfect setup where KT can now reverse sweep GENG like they did against DK and complete... Oh.
That's not what I predicted, Jankos. It's a 3-0.
Yeah.
My unique self-prediction that was only mine. I was the only one who knew GENG would dominate. I mean, this series could look completely different if KT had won game 1, right, and hadn't lost the momentum. Just like yesterday, I think if T1 had been able to actually make that comeback happen and actually secure game 1, the momentum would have been totally different there. Now you have this second tough loss that you're going to have to cope with and recognize that reverse sweep. KT have been here before, though, right? They were down 0-2 against T+ and made it come back. Maybe they could do it again.
And for me, it's all about how do you really approach the game 3, because clearly the early game drafts didn't really work out. No. Game 1 was very close. They couldn't close out. Game 2, it was way more equal all around, and then they lost the fight, they lost the game. In my opinion, game 3, they need to go for scaling. They need to go for... They do have team fighting grabs, but maybe some more of the more scaling side around the bot lane and the top lane. Maybe there's a hand, maybe open the side, or maybe try to force this kind of matchup. And go into the mindset of, let's try to be equal in the early game, and let's try to play for team fighting, having a better comp.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was all about the early game, you know. I think Senna, Nautilus, and Wukong having such a great late game scaling option. I think KT had the timer on themselves to snowball early game, otherwise they couldn't like really win the game, and I think that's what happened literally in this game.
Yeah, and uniquely this squad has had a lot of experience in best of 5, so it's not like no one's been in this territory before. Even, you know, Effort, because of his longevity in his career, and Aiming, who's been on the losing side of the KT best of 5 series as we dive into the highlights from that last one. It took a little while. 20 minutes into the game, or 22 minutes into the game here, it's the Nautilus getting caught out, and then KT trying to take a fight, but don't have the tools.
I mean, so much is used. Why are you equalizing the Nautilus at that 2% health? You use so much to kill the Nautilus, and now you don't have any tools, and your composition is relying on setting up for this Jhin, who doesn't have ult anymore as well.
I feel like the initial chunk is actually really good because you'd force Nautilus to base and you can still get position on the Dragon. But as you can see here, the setup is kind of there from KT, right? But GENG has the flank on Keen, flank on Canyon, and Canyon just goes in and look at his HP bar. It doesn't really, he doesn't die because there's no equalizer. If you had Rumble ult there, magic damage melts Wukong, but physical damage is, you know, it just doesn't do enough, and Wukong not only gets the steal, but also gets away with it and gets a kill on the back of that, and that's just a disaster for KT.
Exactly, I think that was the right option to just chunk the Nautilus out, get the proper setup, and be ready to fight. But I think after using that equalizer, GENG already knew that even though we don't have the Nautilus, we're good to go here.
It's not like it's an unsealed Spellbook Nautilus that's going to TP back to the fight if he gets away. You could just be happy with the advantage you gained there, then hold on drag and use the equalizer for zoning.
Yeah, I think that's something that like teams do when they are not super confident and they just kind of try to reach for more than they can chew.
Yeah, and then here, KT tried to do it the right way. Okay, we messed up the last Drake setup. Let's do it the right way through the bot lane here, but the engage timing is off.
So this was correct because they couldn't have the mid priority, so they go through the bot lane. But why do you have to engage like this after using Route W like that? Your team couldn't follow, engage was not on point, and you're not just getting the correct setup. It was just random engage from Effort once again, and it's a complete failure to prefer the Drake.
My frustration with these two moments, which is a very similar concept, right, is it's a chase, it's a Jhin that's chasing, right? Like we're actually chasing this kill instead of using all the tools you have set up. You have Vi Rumble. Where's the Weaver's Wall? Where's the slow fight? Where's the setup that this comp is built for? It's not a pick comp, it's not a chase comp.
And again, it's in a very similar fashion. They see somebody out of position and they feel like they have to go now, they have to kill him. They can't just go with the setup, go with the slow fight, use their comp well.
Yeah, I really like the pre-plan, you know. I think you should know what's gonna happen next anyways, right? We do have Rel and Rumble. Guys, let's look for the setup and look for the team fight. But they didn't, they just look for the kill, hunt for the kill. That's not the point.
Well, it's 2 games now where KT's pre-plan has been good, but the execution has not. But guys, it's
gonna be the best
2-0,
sweep.
and it is still ripe for a reverse sweep, which KT is known to do. Let's see what happens here in game number 3.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for that breakdown of game number 2. And you're exactly right there, Digon. We are poised to do the KT special, where they just come back from the brink, like they did last week.
Tough task, tall ask, but it starts with this game.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep the rhyme.
That's
Tough task, tall ask.
Drink from your flask?
Yeah, or let's go somewhere and bask. Yeah, I didn't have anything either, but I thought that maybe you'd be able to find some magic there.
Rhyming past 2 it gets harder and harder.
What, 3? Okay, the Varus is going to be taken away once
Jo,
again. We're going to
so.
have Oriana and the Cassiopeia, but we've got a bit
Der
of
Rise von KT sehen? Nee, den willst du nicht zweimal sehen, das ist.
after a loss have decided to go for first pick.
Den willst du nicht zweimal pro Series sehen.
So the blue side will now belong to GENG, much
So,
like it did in
halt
game
mal auf.
number 1.
Guck mal.
Yeah, so we'll see how things evolve in terms of draft. In this one, KT backs against the wall. But at this point, the amount of picks taken away, we would see a typical best of 3 that goes to 3 games in the LCK. So not too much pressure, I feel like, on anyone's champion pools as of yet. Going for the Vayne denial in this situation. A pick that Keen has had struggles on in his career, but then had a big resurgence on this season. Yep.
Yeah.
Bard once again denied from Duro, and the Jarvan was something that was retained as a GENG ban throughout the series. A bit of a cuz special.
Yep, Nocturne is available as well. Was banned in the second game, but not the first. So we'll see where they do decide to go. I imagine Jarvan is probably still going to be the ban. And instead, the Ashe taken away.
So.
Yeah, so denying away the potential for Ashe Seraphine. Ashe Seraphine Jarvan can be very powerful.
Vayne raus heißt nah early, oder was?
KT on first pick, they're not going to get all of it. But I think the thought process was, if you go Jarvan, it's awkward for us to go Ashe Seraphine, because Jarvan's great into that. And we don't want you to get Jarvan Ashe Seraphine. So they give it with the Jarvan.
Nah early. Aber Jorik ist offen.
Looking to trade, first and foremost, looking at the Gnar, no Vayne, no Varus to play into it. Could have a pretty chill time in the top lane.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fun one. We often criticize blind Gnar, but with Fearless and the fact that there has been that Vayne ban, could be one of these options.
Alles andere als Runde wäre überraschend gewesen. Boah, 1 hätte ich ihm gegeben. 1 hätte ich ihm gegeben, aber ja, also sollte, also dominanter Win war
It's around game 3.
auf jeden Fall mal der Erwartungshaltung hier, ja.
Bottom lane. So it might be half a bottom lane that Canyon could decide.
Das heißt bei GENG? Nö.
Anticipating that aiming and effort could be locking in.
Aurora ist noch offen.
Instead, the Fury going to be picked up. And he's going to be the choice into the J4.
I think it makes sense if you're leaving the J4. Neferi obviously does not feel really threatened by J4's very telegraphed
super.
CC that you can easily outplay. You can
Hallo,
dash
Philly.
outside the Cataclysm, you can dash outside his Flag and Drag, or just go untargetable to Canyon. But a great game too. Gonna feel very confident on this pick. And now, KT just immediately slamming down Yunara Lulu. Thought process here is that Vi is gone, Nautilus is gone. They deny the Lulu Neferi combo that we've seen be quite potent. Also, if you're sharp in the Lulu ult, you can interrupt the dash of the ult of Neferi, provide that peel. So they're putting a lot of eggs into the aiming basket here. And I think in this situation, GENG probably just going to pick up a mid for Chovy.
Lissandra, without anything showing.
Hätte ich da nur gedacht, ja. Also ist fair enough, aber es gibt immer einen Draft, weißt du?
Actually having a turnaround performance on that.
Ein Unwinnable Draft, Lissandra Blind. Oder, oh, Support Lissandra? Maybe?
And Lissandra gone.
Maybe Support Lissandra?
Lissandra is point and click CC.
Die sollten es auf jeden Fall Silas bannen.
Which is one of the weaknesses it has. But we've seen the priority of this pick rising in solo.
Von
Those have been playing
Silas.
Lissandra top, Lissandra support even. With Imperial Mandate sinking.
Drückt man online immer noch nicht. Ach nee, die haben heute hier E-Trophy, ne?
Get his hands on that.
Yeah.
And he gets to build Rocket Belt as well. Feel great about it.
What do you mean he gets to build Rocket Belt? Like, he could play Yone, he'll build Rocket Belt.
You're not wrong.
That's just how it would go. As Caitlyn going to be taken away, the Aurora going to be removed as the...
Wenn wir Lissandra Support in Yunara Lulu haben? Nein.
Theoretically.
Das sollte man aber wirklich Silas bannen nicht.
Possible now to stick towards some
Oder sind wir fein damit?
perhaps for holding on to some extra safety for the Gnar. But maybe they just don't really care too much about it. Obviously,
Dova, danke mir 13.
Renekton matchup that we have seen actually picked into Gnar
Vielen
and
lieben
the other
Dank.
way around. There seems to be a bit of a gentleman's agreement.
Zoe ban,
I actually
okay.
think Renekton would be very strong for KT in this draft.
Oh, the respect ban towards BDD Zoe makes a lot of sense. And for this last ban from KT, are you more worried about like a
Wait.
Khan? I mean, Zaya into Jarvan doesn't feel good, so I guess not. MF maybe is something.
Angle.
Strong. He carried Corki. We haven't seen that much up. We can get out the Cataclysm. We saw a lot of Corki into the Yunara, but without Nami, feels a lot weaker now. I mean, Nami still exists, but the Imperial Mandate synergy with her is gone. Lucian going to come through as ban, so no Lucian Milio. And here, I mean, honestly, you could even go like Callista in this situation, I feel.
Well, that's a possibility. They do kind of want damage. I mean, I know there's an Neferi, does do a lot, but Lissandra isn't a massive amount.
I think you have enough across the composition.
I guess so. As Rula, going to go back to his roots here. Bit of a grin from Duro there as well, as the Zaya is going to be locked away. No ability to take away the Rakan, as that Lulu is already locked in.
Yeah, so I mentioned the prospect of this, but I thought it wasn't something they'd definitely go for, specifically because you're into the Jarvan, but they end up committing anyway. Zaya Rakan likely going to be the combo for GENG, and we're going to see Perfect pick up the Renekton into the Gnar. We've seen this matchup so many times. The Renekton does have that early pressure, but will get outskilled in the side lane. LCK Renekton's pretty good at applying that early pressure when Gnar's range is short. And now the mid lane pick for BDD.
And so the Ahri pick feels awkward, right? Lissandra
Renekton into Gnar reingepickt.
Ahri, so
Crazy.
it doesn't feel like the way you want to go. Instead, going to be more focused on the later game team fights with a lot of scaling damage on this Victor.
I thought it'd be something like Azir or Victor in this situation. Just play at a distance, be that secondary carry. And they do inevitably just focus down aiming. Ends up going for the Victor, so one little concern with that is that level 6, there was a lot of threat from that enemy mid-jungle.
I mean...
There's no outplay potential. Both
Ja, also...
mid-lane mage that can be a bit vulnerable. So I think for GENG...
Das sind halt Dual-Streams mit 2, 4, 6, mit 8, also 4 Best-of-Threes pro Tag.
Kind of feast on famine, feast or famine in the Neferi and the Lissandra. And you also, as much as you have the
Bestimmt umsetzbar, aber ich glaube, Riot will das nicht machen.
Jarvan and Lulu, and if he just cataclysms you, and then there's a wild growth as well for follow-up, that can be a tough time.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the easiest composition for GENG to pilot. It's going to come a lot down to their mid-jungle being successful. And then the other side, I think it's just scale up and play around aiming being strong and Victor being strong. Make sure you don't fall prey to early shenanigans from this Lissandra. And Neferi, just don't fall behind too much for KT. And I think you should be strong in the team fights.
See what they can do here, as I think that this is a decent opportunity.
Malphite einloggen.
Way back. You mentioned already. I think that as far as the draft is concerned,
Ja, kein Schimmer.
they are feeling pretty fantastic. So
Nicht sehr geil gegen Nafiri. Okay gegen Gnar, aber du wirst in Lane geknallt.
so much of what happens in like situations where you're 0-2 down, it's not about the draft. It's about whether or not you can get your heads back into the game and make something happen. KT did so well in game number 1. Gonna need to replicate it.
Eintracht noch machbar. GT Nord, schwierig.
All right. Here we are.
Was hast du so verpasst? Well, eigentlich ein gewonnenes Game 1. Eigentlich ein gewonnenes Game 1 für KT, aber ein gutes Teamfighting von GENG plus ein paar Missteps von Efforts unter anderem. Oh, spotted.
Although actually, shouldn't we have renamed it because it looked like
Und Game 2 solide. Sehr, sehr straightforward.
based on our little train.
50-50.
But also, you know, last year it was
Was?
I was abroad, so
Fast hat's nicht mal probiert.
True, so you'd have to
Oh, meinst du? Legit eine Sekunde gebraucht.
It's Voyage to MSI.
Yeah.
Last year, now it's like train to MSI.
Can you voyage?
Ich meine, weil nicht gut. Ja, ich meine, die Ulti ist halt sehr unreliable zu treffen, ja.
What's the limit? Because you wouldn't. Would you go on a train?
Can't you voyage anywhere? In any way? Or is it a boat type thing? I think you have to be on a vessel of some kind.
Yeah, but if someone said, "Oh, I'm going on a voyage to Daejeon," and they were getting on a train, wouldn't you be like, "Is that a voyage?"
Yeah.
It does sound a bit weird.
I don't actually know what the clear definition of voyage is. Because is it just a synonym to journey, you know?
Boah, die Sandra ist laut.
It's a more specific use case.
That's a very good point. That being said, Journey has put into my mind that KT fans need to not
So der Crux gehen oder nicht?
believing.
That's very true.
And we'll see whether they do.
We did see Cuz invading heavily,
Ich mach das extra auf das andere.
Raptors, but missed out, and now
Ja,
Canyon
das ist gut.
taking his Raptors. And I actually like this move. He doesn't go for the red. He just immediately goes for the Krugs, which is kind of hidden. Can take this and should hit level 3 as well. So if he needs to fight over the red, he can, or he can just dip out.
Yeah, that's what he's going to look to do as Cuz gets the information, realizes that his Krugs are no longer there, and now Canyon actually wrapping around looking for BDD. BDD's wise to it and is going to be able to get back underneath his turret as Cuz still has an idea as to where Canyon is. Canyon will finally back away, and it looks like the red buff will go over to Cuz in the end.
Blue Smite auf einer Fury.
Still a little bit ahead as far as the tempo is concerned. Flipping over this wall over and over again, and there is dagger number 1 going to connect. Perfect moves down though. That should mean that Rift Scuttler is going to go over to Cuz here on this top side.
I think the start was pretty good from Canyon, but I think he spent a lot of time hovering around trying to look for the red buff when Cuz was already there. And I think if he'd just gone from Krog straight to his jungle, would have been better off. I think as well because Perfect had that early prio, couldn't really contest the Scuttle. And now you have a situation where Canyon really wants to be clearing through his jungle, which is obviously, he's in a good position because he has all those camps up. But for Cuz,
Runterlaufen ergibt Sinn. Respawn Camps nehmen.
wants to get something done, whether it's get this Scuttle or get
Frage ist, ob er Rap-Buffs gibt. Also Raptors, Crux und dann zu Wölfen direkt hochgeht.
beelining towards the bot side of the map. He would love to be able to get a gank in here onto Ruler Oguro.
Yeah, that's going to be his target. You can see moving over towards that Tri-Brush now. As Dura actually moving aggressively. It could be an opportunity for Cuz as he's now looking for the enemy.
Gut von Canyon.
Canyon going to spot him here.
Yeah, Canyon now up in level.
Aber Upgrade Smite hat. Oder Smite eher ab.
Does actually smite there and managed to equalize.
Ist okay.
Decent move, but it is going to be Rift Scuttler over to Cuz here.
Yeah. So Cuz was trying to get something to happen there, just at least take away the Crow.
Cuz kommt tatsächlich EXP, den ich out ahead, ne? Geile Rolle, Jungle.
Scuttle hanging around on the top side. Could have maybe been a situation where Cuz was cut out more of the game if he'd played it a bit faster, but either way, both junglers in a fine position.
Yep, not doing too badly as the Gromp has now respawned over on Cuz's side. Head over there if he wants to, but the Raptors are going to be his priority. BDD having a very good time in this lane so far. And Chovy not going to be able to fully equalize the minions with a full clear on this one. As he does actually go in there.
Ow.
Yeah, that's it's a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, not having the easiest time in lane so far on the Lissandra into the Victor. Victor has been bullying out all of the matchups we've seen him into the later levels. But we're approaching level 6 for Chovy. And that is a point where things really get scary for the Victor. When there's a threat of just being ulted whenever Chovy goes in. Canyon not quite there yet, but those two in unison will be a major threat.
Not to mention just Canyon showing up and then having a CC target to hit double daggers into. That feels like a lot of damage. And maybe not something that BDD can handle. Right now he is able to go back, grabs himself a lost chapter, and feels very, very good about how the lane state is looking. Flash at the red.
Rap ist sehr delayed. Das bedeutet, Canyon bekommt noch sein Upgrade Smite.
Into a slight advantage, but they also have a composition that scales like a
Obwohl relativ spät dran ist.
And I think that they are going to be feeling pretty happy with how this this game is positioned right now.
I'd agree. We see Canyon moving in, but is spotted on a lot of vision in this situation.
As control ward, something that BDD does want to protect, but the death rate not going to land.
Ja, beide Jungle werden Upgrade Smite haben. Beide Jungle werden nicht Level 6 sein für die Krabbe.
Has been one of his better picks in the past, as the Floor of Doom
Interesting.
is not going to be fully followed there.
Ulti für Chunk.
Gets him out of the gravity well. Canyon moves in. Frozen Tomb at the ready here for Chovy.
Yeah, I was going to say, will we get a Contestant's Dragon, but I think the ult from BDD...
Krass bekommt Level 6 von dem Drake, actually.
Perfect. Doing what he's done
Sehr guter Timer.
season, moving down when he has prio.
Sehr, sehr guter Timer.
Prio as well means it's just Fierce Dragon pickup for KT. Chemtech Dragon as well, so no Chemtech Soul feels pretty
Oh wow, er hätte nicht Level 6. Okay.
Next one going to be a Cloud.
So, die Crab ist weg und dann eventuell Blue Waffen weg.
Like could be another Ocean, that would probably be the
Mal sehen.
worst, but otherwise everything is pretty
Recharged.
pretty interesting.
Auch interessant, ne? Die Nas haben angefangen in diesen Melee-Matchups die für Tempo zu gehen.
Having a pretty good time in this matchup, although he is behind a little bit actually on farm. Things look like they're going way better for the Nado as far as how the play was looking in the trades.
Kann ich das nicht für Botcap gehen?
His way out and will be able to do so. Obviously,
Smite versus no smite.
exactly picked for her prowess in the laning phase. It's a lot more about how you can set up fights and create space for especially Ruler
And you know,
try and dominate.
it was actually Lissandra.
Ja, per Anime ist schon mal nach CS. Dann ist es circa 14:30 Uhr. Und dann könnten wir Falcons gegen Monty schauen, ja. Das wäre machbar. Das hier, Dankeschön. Das wäre ein Ding der Machbarkeit. Mal wieder.
On the Hextech Soul, it was actually Ruler who went ballistic in that game as well, I believe. Which is why it came up with this great effect, so...
Yep. Has often been a pretty good option into that one. As Effort takes a lot of damage from Ruler here, playing with his feathers pretty effectively. A little bit of an advantage. I think that aiming should be able to equalize pretty comfortably.
BLG gegen WE.
Gonna be all right, although he is taking a lot of damage here from this Xayah. Ruler is so incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, and then a lot of pressure there. Should be able to get the crystalline overgrowth next wave pushed in.
Yeah, it's updated.
Get that bit of gold from that first plate.
That gravity field goes down. There was a claw put in position, but we're going to watch Canyon and Cuz fighting over these grubs right now. First one should be going over to Canyon. We'll see how confident he is to
Smite versus no smite.
Next couple. Does still have Smite. As right now, Chovy going to have to deal with that gravity well. Is going to get stunned up as the Arcane Storm does come down. Battle Dance is decent. Canyon goes into the sky. He just flips over towards his blue buff. And now the last two grubs should be going over here as Slice Dice from Perfect. He has the Dominus there as well as no hop left for Keen. He has Flash, but so does Perfect, and he decides not to pull the trigger. Just pushes the Gnar out of the way.
Ja, alle spielen auf GT Nord. Wir machen Spandau. Tolly macht GT Nord.
He's happy just applying that pressure. We'll get a plate as well for his trouble and remains healthy, which means even though Canyon's here, they cannot make a play onto this full health Renekton.
Yeah, Keen now able to at least walk up. That Narbar is in an okay spot where he will be able to get a bit of health back, but it is still feeling worrying. As you can see why. Like, Perfect, happy to pick the Renekton into
Wollen wir LCS heute natürlich.
that we have seen Gnar picked into for so many years.
Wie gut ist Heretics? Also sollen solid sein. Aber kein Game gesehen von denen. Aber halt Puppy Timo auf Toplane. Das ist ein Serious für mich.
Start of the season, it was Gnar being picked into Renekton and just having a great time, and then our top laners have just really been finding success on the Renekton in the early levels, even up to this point. And as much as the late scaling can come in, there we go.
Frozen Tomb comes in, and now the combo. BDD in a lot of trouble. Battle Dance quickness. The charm is great, but BDD gets his health bar back with the wild growth.
Interesting.
And KT are able to save their mid laner and hold on to his flash.
Aber 14 Stunden. 14 Stunden werden wir um 22 Uhr offline.
Have to flash there. Effort comes in to save him. And those two big budget ultimates, three actually, with the quickness as well, burn to try and...
Puppy Timo ist gut wahrscheinlich, oder?
And they end up being unsuccessful.
Double Dragon now potentially on the cards.
Der war schlecht, als ich eher gespielt habe. Der ist auch jetzt noch schlecht.
A few buttons back by that stage. But Effort having to run away.
I think it's just one of those situations where if you'd gotten the flash, you'd feel so much better about this dragon fight in a minute and your odds for it.
Oh, aiming and Ruler fighting against one another. Getting out of the way of the feathers is aiming. Definitely an intelligent maneuver there, as Ruler's going to have to get the heck out of there. Double summon is available for both of these bottom laners, but aiming really getting control.
Müssen wir sein, ja, aber ich rede später. Ja, gepiekt bei Schalke außerdem.
Matchup as well, because it gives you that dash to outplay the feathers, and aiming puts the pressure down. He's gonna look for a recall. Oh, the cycle!
Yeah, cycle value gets the Feather Storm out of Ruler. Yet another big cooldown. It is not going to be there for the dragon fight in 40 seconds time.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the ultimates, the three that were burnt onto BDD should be up and available in time, but Rulers certainly will not.
Evi war Katastrophe,
It
ja.
makes you wonder if they're going to feel confident to go for a fight around it, or if KD can just pick up a second. BDD is going to pop his ultimate just to get more pressure down on Chovy. Been a lot of ulting for lane pressure in this game.
I always associate it with Doinby. I feel like Doinby used to do this all the time, even in his first few years, where you just pick Victor and then ult wave, ult enemy, just ult for priority, and it's been happening from everyone ever since.
If I'm being honest, I feel like after last game when Chovy was just anti-ulting on top of BDD,
yeah,
kind of asking for it.
True.
We do have Cyclo Sword came in for Canyon. This is a pretty big spike on the Fury.
This doesn't have his yet. Obviously doesn't.
Die besten Bilder. Hölle, nein.
But doesn't have his either.
Katastrophe.
As Perfect now waiting in this tri-brush, just wanting to grab onto this wave. Keen doesn't really want him to do this. But Keen will have to go back to the wave if he wants to be able to farm it. So Perfect not feeling too worried, just taking a little bit of harass and will otherwise be all right.
TP advantage.
There's aiming and Ruler fighting once again. There is the quickness as Duro not quite able to get on top of aiming.
Not bad.
Who presses a whole bunch of buttons, gets shielded up.
Auch gut von Duro nicht reinzugehen.
Still has his barrier, now doesn't have flash.
Oh, Toby doesn't have TP though. He's recalling.
TP Advantage bei KT. Also, ich meine, sie können den TP rausforcen, wenn sie wollen. Aber.
Toby can just go in, root him and self-ult. He's fine.
Wild growth is there for effort.
Perfekt.
Maybe that's going to be an
Perfekt. Ich glaube, die sind damit sehr happy.
So Chovy just going to be backing away. And there is the Drake secured by KT. Another Mountain Soul this game.
Yeah, the TP is enough to ward them away. Keen's just going to pick up some pressure in the top lane, try and close that gap between him and Perfect. And GENG opt to not take the fight.
Wird nicht unbedingt das beste Sire-Game.
Risky when you're playing into this Yanara, Lulu, Victor, that you're giving so much time to KT.
Lane Assignment gefällt mir eigentlich.
So far away if it's going to be GENG's. And if it's
Proaktiv Botlane Mitte schicken, wenn du denkst, dass sie Gegner swappen.
Well, Ruler has a decent advantage as far as money and plates are concerned. Has actually taken one towards that bottom side. Aiming now, parking himself in the top lane as we do see Cuz looking for an angle towards Canyon, Keen, and Duro. And aiming is rotating around now. That is Duro getting over there. The polymorph doesn't really do too much though, as he'd already made it out.
Upgrade Smite, aber kein Smite up.
To put on as much pressure as they can. Does really feel like they've moved to the front foot as we have entered this mid game now. Perfect here. This bottom lane just trying to deal with Chovy as best he can. A little bit more difficult for Renekton.
Wir sind immer für GENG 3-0, damit wir LPL schauen können.
Yeah, so much spam from Lissandra. It's not doing a ton of damage to him, but it is just annoying.
Yep, not to mention she yells at you all the time.
Yeah. Also very difficult to ever really pressure him as a Renekton. So because trying to be annoying right now. Very specifically.
And successfully.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Throwing flags around, things like that. Effort going to recharge the wards. And KT
14-3-0.
taking it slow and steady. Gold lead though for either team.
Sehr winnable für KT.
Already, KT very happy because they have the dragons. They also have the
Aber die haben bisher schlechter geteamfightet.
objectives have been going their way.
So a big thing in this game is I was talking about the mid jungle needing to get a head start for Chovy and Canyon and get some momentum. They really haven't. And we now have the Mikhail for effort. So the Lissandra value has just immediately dropped quite substantially with that being a thing.
International T1 an GENG. Oh, wir geben den zweiten auch noch an BLG. I mean, Hanwha ist gut.
The damage is still there. When
Hanwha ist gut, to be fair.
But when you're not ahead of the curve and you pop your ultimate and it just instantly gets cleansed, it's going to feel way worse.
Hat er Damage?
Oh, there is the frozen
Oh.
tomb. Claw actually doing a lot of work here as Canyon comes on over, ults for the finish. As Perfect does get a bunch of his health back there with the Cull the Meek, but that is still going to be the kill. Going over to the Neferi.
Warum startet LPL schon nach der 11 Uhr? Warte.
Here at 15 minutes.
Hä?
Bit of a slow starter. We will see KT in response get some.
Oh mein Gott, warte, es startet um 10 Uhr. Wait.
And
Hä?
take a lot of gold into Aiming's pockets. We do see the response is going to be Chovy.
Wait.
On the other side.
Die sind schon in-game.
Slower.
Hä?
This tower and a Herald as bonus for KT, so I think KT feeling pretty.
Ist es morgen auch? Warte mal, das war auf. Ich schwöre, das war auf 11 Uhr.
As that is going to be aiming now, securing that turret like you were talking about.
Morgen ist auch 10 Uhr. So ein Scheiß.
Closes the gap between himself and Ruler pretty.
Well, BLG fistet.
Ruler also
Gemeint.
harassment here from BDD on this Victor who has had a
Da stand 11 Uhr. Ich schwöre, da stand 11 Uhr.
But we know the damage.
Aber da stand auch 10 Uhr bei LCK.
Very, very high. Not to mention the reset.
Okay, well, wir abgeben 2 mit.
And getting a whole lot of value as this game goes on.
I think obviously the Victors are mobile, so if you get on top of him, you can explode him. You have the CC to do so. But if you're just laning against him, there's no one who really feels comfortable doing that.
Chancen für G2 Line bei MSI zu gewinnen, 0.
Slamming lasers at you and making it a difficult situation. So Rulers felt the brunt of that, Chovy has as well. And no one's really feeling too keen about matching up into DDD right now.
Well,
Apart from Keen, because I think Keen's always
triggert mich jetzt ein bisschen.
True.
That's my last one.
Keen, but maybe not happy.
Yeah, I'll try to stop with the dad jokes as best I can. I cannot.
It's in your
really help.
nature.
I
I know.
can't. Yeah, I can't help my status.
You even have an excuse now.
I know. Although I don't think anything would have changed whether or not I had become a father, regardless.
G2 hat Frankreich bekommen.
Now just trying to play some defense. It's KT just searching for cracks. You know, trying to get in there, trying to make something happen. And 35 seconds until this next dragon. That is probably where the next fight will happen.
That's the big thing. All summoners are available apart from Keen's Flash. And for Gen G, getting on these key backliners, the Victor and the Yunara is super important. So finding flank angles, good angles of approach is really important.
Why did Keen's Flash just go on cooldown?
I think that must be a spectator, bro. It was on cooldown before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right. It looked like he just flashed.
I did just say everyone has a flash apart from Keen.
Yeah.
And if you look, it's also like it's coming
It's
back to
going
cooldown really
faster
fast.
than it should. Yeah, okay. That was a little bit
visual
flexy.
error. But Gen G, what I'm finding backline access, they do have a ward actually behind. You can see near the mid tower. This is like a prime TP flank ward. You can see right next to Cuz there. So if KT overextend, that's what they might pounce on.
Oh, Canyon looking for a little bit of an angle here, but doesn't find any of the daggers. And it looks like Gen G not going to be able to remove this control ward that has been holding a lot of power for KT. Being able to slink between.
Jedes Team spielt jeden Tag bei EMR Masters. Heute spielen alle gleichzeitig.
Decent spot. Does have some feathers
17 Uhr sind 4 Best of 5 gleichzeitig. Wir machen Spandau, Tolly macht G2 Nord. Ich vermute, Priming macht wieder Konferenz.
Bonus.
Battle
Herald. Battle Herald has potential.
Passt.
Could also just throw it down mid to force Gen G to respond.
Because now just going to be throwing flags around. Effort taking a lot of damage from these little doggos.
Yeah. I gotta say, Canyon is pretty fast.
Canyon is sehr OP, by the way.
Level 12 on the Neferi.
Ooh, Chovy does get the circle down. There's a Cataclysm Wild Growth combo.
Oh, Doro wurde gestoppt.
Immediately gets out of there. Interruption.
Canyon kein W.
Is decent as the Frozen Tomb gets McHale's immediately, like you were talking about. Genji's health bar is just going lower and lower as there is the Featherstorm aiming, finds the Arc of Ruin, but it is not enough to get any kills. Still, they push Genji away, but KT are also looking a little worse for wear, even if they do get control of the pit.
Crazy that no one died in that passage of play, but Gen G getting focused down first. They're trying to contest this though. Canyon.
Yeah, dealt with the Slurkle. He's in here a little early, you could say, as now doesn't have the untarget ability. The teleport back in as Keen's coming on over. That is going to be the secure of the Drake from Gen G. Denying that soul point from KT is now BDD looking for the Chovy angle as he gets the claw down, disappears.
Oh, lebt auch noch.
And now BDD wanting to find
Oh, wow.
going to be there, the grand entrance, just to be a hero. And he does save Chovy.
Dass sie den Drake bekommen, ist halt so huge.
Keen and Canyon looking though.
Yep, Gravity Well does come on through here as Canyon bounces over the wall. The Gravity Field not doing much of anything at all as the Hyper Proc starting to come in, and maybe the KT overextension has begun as Chovy gets his immediate revenge, although he doesn't get an assist.
Pretty heavy cost to pay. You could see BDD frustrated that they weren't able to get more kills out of that fight, and he burns his flash to make that play happen, which is just a 1-for-1. This is after the initial fight has already happened.
Messy fight.
The Combat Herald gets thrown down because considering the option of going in for the smite and using that as an out, but in the end, the smite comes through and Genji just disengaged. BDD trying to kill Chovy here. Duro goes for the heal and then shields.
Oh.
Oh no, the aiming
3-0. Perfekt. Okay, wir schaffen es 2 gegen 2 BLG. Super.
Press ult and barrier and stuff like that and get himself out of the way as there's the reset as Canyon
Sehr, sehr gut.
onto Effort, who almost just dies from the initial hit.
I mean, at this point, with the Cyclo Sword Black Cleaver, you're so strong.
BLG hat 2 Drakes und 2 K Heads. Mit einer Comfort-Comp. Passt.
Flip every like 3 seconds.
Yep, bouncing around the battlefield.
Yeah, you have the Shred and that percentage HP damage on the Cyclo Sword. He's so strong right now, and if he targets aiming, if he targets BDD, and they go down, I feel like KT's chances of winning a fight just plummet.
Already looking worrying here as the flash out from Ruler. Cataclysm for flash. KT will take that one, but there is still a lot further up to go.
Yeah, a good summon of the bin.
Oh, dear. Wait. Solidarity, I guess, from aiming support. His effort's just dead.
Guys, that brush isn't worth it.
Yeah, let's not go into that brush anymore, KT.
I don't know what the obsession is,
Passt.
but whatever it is, it's not...
Ich mach schon mal Huja auf.
I dropped my candy. In that brush.
Oh wow, guck mal, in den nächsten Busch rein.
As Chovy going to be able to claw his way out of here. That is going to be the tower falling down in mid lane and the whole map opening up for Gen G. Oh dear. Maybe Pony wasn't correct. Maybe I'm understanding why it's so hard to explain.
Yeah.
All right, aiming. Slovical does come on in as the Frozen Tomb down as well. And Michaels is moving forward as aiming is looking for an opportunity here as Ruler off to the side. Death Ray not going to quite do enough there, but at least Chovy's going to get pushed away.
You know what I find really interesting?
What do you find really interesting?
Is that we've had Lissandra come quite heavily back in the meta. Not so much, we haven't seen a ton of it yet, but we've seen all the pros playing it. But the build is Blackfire Torch, Rocket Belt, then Imperial Mandate. You don't get Imperial Mandate till third.
Yeah.
So Chovy, this is just normal Lissandra. Nothing's changed.
It's just it.
Yeah. But playable now, because once you get 3 items, it's different.
And also it adds vulnerability, right? So
no, I mean, I'm not denying it's a good 3 item. It's just funny that you play 22 minutes without it.
And I think it's kind of cool that even though he's the only magic source, it's still fine. You know, like some other builds can feel a little bit awkward because like Black Cleaver, for example, and then you've got a bunch of magic damage dealers and you're like, well, what am I doing this for? Whereas the Lissandra definitely very happy to just be boosting damage in general. The rest of his teammates, very cute. But 2 items are now done here for Ruler. And Chovy is just kind of messing with them, is what it looks like at the moment, as Canyon goes up into the sky to try and avoid the Arcane Storm, but BDD still doing a lot of damage here.
Was macht denn meine Doge da?
Duro Cuz looking for the angle there, but he's got battle
Meine
damage.
Doge infeedet.
Duro's going to be just fine.
I don't think Canyon is.
Canyon is. Yeah, I think he might just be very dead. As he throws some daggers around, there is
Was macht denn meine Doge da?
BDD locking down the kill.
I feel like the Fury is one of these champions where you're so mobile, so hard to pin down, that it just makes you think there's no way they could ever catch me, even if I'm at the enemy Krugs, and then you die.
Yeah, because you were at the enemy Krugs.
This happened yesterday as well.
Yeah, Krugs were a difficult part of the map yesterday.
Specifically at Road to MSI, Krugs are a focal point. And it feels like they're buffed.
Yeah.
We had that last year as well.
So fantastic that in the final series we have the Krug Lord waiting.
Oh, yeah.
When yesterday it did feel a little bit like Ona was trying to steal his title. Chovy clears out that wave and will be now going back. We'll see how close to the Imperial Mandate he is. But 2 seconds on this Dragon, another soul point attempt for KT.
Oh, he went straight for the Seek's Arm Guard. He wants power now.
I'll see whether he can find it. Aiming on this.
Kane kommt wieder her. Keen hat eine gute Nahbar. Keen hat eine sehr gute Nahbar. Die machen halt nicht genug Damage an den Mountain Drake. Das ist so ekelhaft. Das macht den Kass auch. Oh, Keen. Wait. Oh, wait, Keen? Und Lissandra bekommt den Drake. Are we serious? Na, ihr sollten raus, oder? Genji verliert, oder? Aiming hittet. Ich werde meine Genji-Jacke rausgehen. Ansonsten kann ich nicht zeigen, ne? In Berlin. Das heißt, sie müssen gewinnen, damit ich vielleicht Game 2 von BLG direkt mitnehmen kann. Wie wär's? Warum bist du non-sub? Bist du ekelhaft. Reicht? Das lacht mich wieder aus.
And they managed to clean up the kills. And now looking for Canyon. If they can deny him, the Baron is free. They get some good pokes out on the BDD. And is that enough? Is it enough to ward them away from the objective? Or are they just going to TP back in with full health bars? That's the question.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they back off.
All right, let's have a look at this fight one more time.
So Keen's on the cusp of Meganar, and he's ready to go with this. We initially get the Cataclysm onto Chovy, which feels like a weird target priority. Keen jumps in and then just gets shredded down. After he goes for the ultimate, he gets focused out.
Hallo Julia.
Chovy then
Ein ekelhafter Allmann gewesen.
ton of time here.
Wer wurde auf seine Parkposition hingewiesen?
Because he can disengage out of this with his flash. But then Ruler here ends up ulting the wrong way. I think he was just trying to respond to potential flash polymorph from effort. But the fact it's the wrong way means, look at the positioning of all of KT. They're running forward to where the feathers would have been.
Na, ist für
Do that. If those feathers
BLG und Nightshade 8-0.
is Genji losing out.
Naja.
Now KT haven't started the Baron just yet, but they do have positional advantage around the area as that ward is going to get swept. Mortal Reminder is now completed. Third item done for.
Ich hab doch neuen Nachbar, der letztens schon sein Papier in eine Plastiktüte in die Papiertüte geschmissen hat. Nein. Hat er sich nicht erlaubt.
So there is the IE. 3 items apiece for both of our characters.
Nein.
I feel like aiming does so much if he can ever actually hit squishies. and everyone is kind of a squishy on GENG's side. So it feels very good to be the
Ich sie mir jetzt vor die Tür gestellt habe. Das ist crazy.
probably one of our most, if not the most
Der andere will entgegen nun ja.
this season.
Du bist der Grund, warum die Berliner Straßen so scheiße vermüllt sind.
Yeah. So certainly in a great position to carry this one. 1,000 gold, still the lead for GENG though.
It still feels so delicate. It's only 1,000 gold lead, 2 dragons apiece, so Seoul is miles away. And both teams, I mean, Isaiah is always going to be strong, but you're under threat.
Nee, Isaiah ist nicht always strong.
The Neferi is very strong, but might have a tough time in this composition. But this Victor and Yunara are just scaling up to be absolute monsters.
3 items now completed for BDD.
Wie lange sollten wir auf der Hochzeit der eigenen Schwester bleiben? Also, die Frage habe ich mir tatsächlich auch schon öfters gestellt, weil ich vermute mal, das ist da bei meiner nur noch eine Frage der Zeit. Und die Konversation kam tatsächlich schon mal. Aber nicht mit meiner Schwester, sondern halt mit ihrem Freund.
Extra fun.
Und er meinte 4 Stunden. Er meinte 4 Stunden und du kannst gehen. Eigentlich bis Ende am Arsch. Am Arsch die Räuber bis zum Ende wahrscheinlich, oder? Bin ich dumm oder was? 4 Stunden. 4 Stunden mit Kirche. Nee, 4 Stunden ohne die Kirchenscheiße. 4 Stunden bei der Ding selbst. Halt danach. 4 Stunden bei der Feier danach, ja. Boah, mit Kirche wäre geil, da wäre ich so 2 Stunden nur bei der Feier, das wäre ja so Peak. Oh mein Gott. Das wäre toll.
Does also do some damage. That is going to be a steal here for Canyon. Ults in on top of Cuz.
Wow, die Töle ist so stark.
Some defense, but Cuz has to flag and drag his way out. Then takes the wrong way around these.
Ich trinke nicht, ne? Also, wie gesagt, ihr müsst da immer, diese 4 Stunden müsst ihr immer trinken. 4 Stunden als Nicht-Trinker, by the way.
Using his own technology against him. Such a Victor thing to do.
They're all gonna reset and give up a lot of control.
Gut, die Idee ist mit ihm abzuklären. Also, er wollte es tatsächlich mit mir abklären. Also, es kam nicht von mir, es kam tatsächlich von ihm. Mal gucken. Also, sie hat noch keinen Ring am Finger, das passt. Ich habe noch Zeit, tatsächlich, mich darauf vorzubereiten. Icaro. Ja. Oh nein. Nein. Cut. Ich bin sehr schlecht gelaunt. Ich würde sagen, okay, aber. Ja. Du sollst eventuell nicht der Erste sein, der geht. Ja, ich sage, ich verabschiede mich eh nicht. Das passt schon.
This is where the vision is for GENG with that control ward down. They also have the irremovable vision here from the Rift Scuttler that now just dissipates.
Jovi's just clearing out mid wave. He does have TP, but he's a little late.
Yep, they do start this one up.
TP-Shield ist weg. Keen hat noch TP-Shield theoretisch, wenn er es benutzen wollen würde. BG macht kurz einen Prozess. Ja. Wir schalten gleich rüber.
As BDD, be careful, he's going rogue. The rest of GENG now holding onto the Drake. They do not let it reset us now.
Keen hat mega nah.
Dominus here from Perfect as he gets into the back of the pit. Duro going to be his target, at least for the moment, as Keen was looking to try and make his
Schön.
but there is the Drake secure.
Wow, Chovy.
That is soul point over to GENG. The flash out of his
Geht da rein. Chovy hat eine Ulti. So viel AOE-Damage, so viel AOE-Damage. Dann kommt die Cassandra Ulti. Lula hittet, Aiming tot. Lula hat eine Ulti. Played. Schöner Fight, richtig schöner Fight.
And KT, they still have BDD, there's still a lot of damage, but they've only gotten 1 kill so far in this fight. Canyon goes up into the sky and Perfect.
Vielleicht kann die Genji-Jacke anziehen, oder? Ja.
Such a precarious fight there. Felt like Cousin.
Kannst du.
Ultimate. The Cataclysm got so much.
Klar, ja, Broken, aber das ist Outrange oder nicht? I don't know.
But it just wasn't quite enough. The focus was so heavily on aiming, not allowing him to play the game. And GENG able to not only secure the Dragon, but get a convincing fight win as well.
Immer aus dem November, außer dieses Jahr. Ja. By the way, kurzer Game State bei BLG. 12-0. Ganz kurze Übersicht bei LPL. Ja, meins ist durch.
Keen as well, but they just get both cataclysmed here. and end up trapped in with the Arcane Storm, yeah. And then Canyon has to dip away on low HP. But we see the quickness from Duro. Occupying time allows Chovy to move up, then Keen gets some damage down. It's just the juggling of health here.
GENG gewinnt aber jetzt Nekao. Dieses Jahr gewinnt tatsächlich BLG die Worlds. Damit ich schön weiter Geld verdienen kann. Mit League of Legends. Richtig?
Things could have gone a little bit different, and that could have been KT's team fight. You got to think for sure.
Well, let's see whether KT can make something happen now, as they have.
Oder G2. Ich scheiß auf G2, wenn BLG gewinnen kann. So, hab's gesagt. Dann hole ich noch das pinke Jersey.
Mountains already stacked up. I mean, if you thought that they didn't have a tank before, which is something that I actually said, I think everyone's a tank now.
Yeah, I mean,
so never mind.
Canyon has a QSS and 105 magic resist. The mountains plus that. 131 armor with just plated steel caps. The worst is when you look at the 80 carry resist. That's when it always...
Especially when you look at them side by side.
Yeah.
That's kind of ridiculous.
So definitely getting a lot of value. Duro also buying the new buffed Knight's Vow.
Yeah. As is Zeke's already. That's all right, Chovy. Very safe as the Lissandra. You can just claw your way out of almost any situation.
And right now, KT are in a delicate spot because aiming no flash. Ruler still has his. You can't just Cataclysm the enemy Xayah. And aiming can definitely be a focused target.
And he doesn't quite have his Last Whisper item completed just yet.
Yeah, Ruler with 133 armor with just plated steel caps is a little bit insane.
Yeah, Chovy with 160 as well himself, so feeling pretty good about that one. Canyon gonna look to try and start up this Baron by the looks of things.
Ja, DPS genug, ist hoch genug, die könnt ihr easy machen.
As we speak, down to 50%. My goodness, they do a lot of damage.
Krass. Hat kein Flash.
As Chovy now holding perfect.
Boah, wird perfekt geknallt.
Will be able to get himself out of there. The polymorph in hand. Down the flash forward.
Der hat noch Sonjas. Wow. Gute Ulti von Neffert. Oh, perfekt, ist tot. Oh, es ist over. Oh, es ist over. Oh, es ist komplett over.
He'll take the triple, at least for now, as PDD and Effort need to escape to try and deny all of them being on the floor.
Warte, das kannst du nicht. Voids vielleicht für HP.
Looking for another date at MSI and another
RPL ist vielleicht für LCK zu Ende. Sicherlich.
So much time in this situation. Perfect trying to get on top of him. Not the easiest thing to do as a Renekton, but they're moving over, and it's just buying so much time in this situation. Doesn't use his stasis early because he waits for everyone else to get in range. Self-ult into Rocket Belt. Even had the Zhonya still, but dashes away. And the other thing that's huge here is, even though the wild growth interrupted the Neferi, Duro's so patient with his grand entrance. He waits until aiming dashes and then instantly locks him down. The follow-up is there from Keen. And aiming goes down once again. GENG, 8,000 gold lead, and so close to taking that final Nexus of the day.
Yeah, and this was looking so incredibly close. It was down to the wire, and now it is anything but that. This is a ridiculous lead that GENG have built up for themselves. The Rebel Baron power play is only at 1,500 for the moment. They've wiped out every single outer turret. And the inhibitors are the only things still defended so far for KT, who are now circling the drain. Canyon going to be taking down this.
Top, mach fertig.
And that is going to be Mountain Soul with quad Mountain Drakes. And I'd say that that is probably a decent way to win the game.
It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's
pros column, put that one in the pros column.
For sure. It's going to make it very hard for KT, who already has such a deficit, to cut through these members of GENG.
All right, looking for the angle. There's the wild
flash Ulti ab.
To Ruler, who gets the protection, and KT just do not have the options. Chovy turns it into an engage as he self-ults onto the turret.
Oh, Ruler ist tot.
But Duro's dead.
Boss.
There goes Ruler, and now it's Aiming's turn to try getting the work done himself as he can he's named well as Keen will go down, and Perfect just slinks away. Canyon and Chovy left alive, and maybe we spoke a little too soon about KT's demise.
And GENG think they found the turnaround play after they go for the engagement.
Guys.
Ruler, but Ruler just steps up a little too far. and they end up getting
Rude hat noch Flash abgehabt. Wenn er die Javan-Combo Flash gewinnt, die fällt einfach so hart, oder nicht?
buy some time on this game. We'll see the replay. This was a full commit here to try and make sure Ruler cannot press R. The flag and drag into Flash and then the immediate polymorph.
Mein Hund hat eben beim Fressen beim Einkaufen so geschlagen, dass sie 2 Packungen Leckerlis bekommen hat. Ist das krank? Aber da sieht man mal wieder Dreistigkeit. Gewinnt immer.
From Cuz to take him down. And without that Zaya, suddenly the damage feels a bit lacking.
Yeah.
For GENG. You see Canyon nearly takes down Perfect, but it would only be into the GA anyway, but he does just back off.
Effort needs to be a little bit careful here as we jump back to live, but he's going to be all right as now Chovy looking for an angle towards BDD. BDD is very frightening though, 4-1 and 5, and almost has his death cap completed for item number 4.
The one thing of that last fight is even though it stopped the Baron push from GENG and it bought some time, it didn't drastically change the state of the game. Still a Mountain Solar GENG, still 8,000 gold lead. And Ruler, Chovy, and Canyon still have flashes. We have no flashes on the side of KT. So it's going to be a delicate position because we've seen how laser-focused GENG are on punishing aiming. When he doesn't have that flash available, it's going to be an even easier target. And you can't just Cataclysm Ruler in response and
War fertiger Hut
to win you the
bei
fight.
BDD.
This is the delicate point of the game.
Die geben in der Kasse im Einzelnen Leckerlis.
And obviously the series as well.
Das Fußballschauen, das ist crazy.
This is, if you want to go to Daejeon, and this is what you have to overcome. KT, they lose this, they are just going straight home. No more MSI prospects, no date with T1.
Warum spielen so viele locker bei dem Plopay?
GENG,
Da habe ich gerade wieder
have to contend with that one as
gelispelt.
actually goes in.
Das Item ist sehr billig. Das Item hat ziemlich geile Stats und eine Active, die ziemlich nice ist für diverse Situationen.
On the Imperial Mandate as well, so not going to be a short cooldown as it
Plus der Build-Puff ist auch ziemlich geil mit dem Alternator
still not the longest.
und dem M-Tom.
But that Void Staff and the Zhonya's now.
Yeah.
They're looking for him.
All right, let's see what they can get on top of him. There's the Cataclysm.
Oh, er flasht. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Lissandra.
Fair enough.
They do get the flash.
It's a good trade for KT, getting the flash out of him. The Mikhail's was down, but it's a pretty short cooldown. It's something. You're eating away at these resources from the opposite side. And even though Lissandra has a lot of built-in safety, the flash can be used to combo so well with her other abilities. KT are in a dire spot, but anything they can burn before this next Baron, next Elder Dragon.
Hat der fertiges Michaels? Sieht dann auch aus, ne? Aber ist es Michaels?
Making it a lot easier. Got BDD is also completely
Oder
down
Redemption?
on points. It is down
Redemption ist besser, oder nicht?
very much online.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's okay.
absolutely obscene. And now has another needlessly large rod as well. Just making sure that he maximizes the amount of damage he can do. Chovy parked himself towards his top lane, has been up here for quite some time. But it's too
Niemals die E-Werfen zum Wave klären. Das ist Tipp Nummer 1 von Tanja.
8,000 gold lead, even though there's a Mountain Soul. I do still feel like KT might have the opportunity to bring this to a coin flip.
Yep.
Right? If you can get Buzz into that pit with a smite available, magic can often happen.
They got through the tough point where their summoners were unavailable. Flash is going to be back up. They have strong scaling elements in their team composition. GENG are still in a great spot, don't get me wrong. Chovy just picked up a Rabadon's there, sold a Dark Seal for it, so feeling pretty good about that. And don't get me wrong, GENG are very far ahead, but a misexecution, a misstep, not killing a primary target, there's a lot of damage from KT that can be turned around, because even though they're really far behind in gold, the carries have items. It's 5 items for aiming, 4.5 for BDD. They have the damage to dish out, it's just having the freedom to do so when they're under such threat.
Now KT moving up this mid lane. Cuz might be in a little bit of trouble. Does get snared momentarily as BDD actually dashing forward.
Okay.
Looking for that Arcane Storm. It hasn't really done anything outside.
Warum macht das Ding Damage am Ende? Oh, Engage kommt rein in den Backline. Oh, und Kass hat gefällt.
As well as he gets in on top.
Okay.
The follow-up is
Gut, Jan.
very, very late. And now Keen from that top side finally shows up as Chovy gets that claw forward but does not follow it in.
Aha.
I don't know whether they're exactly on.
Aha. Nash Force jetzt ist gut vor Elder 50-50, also quasi Same Timing.
Baron is being started up by GENG.
Kass kommt nicht rein.
No, it's going to be so hard for them to do anything about it. As the
Super.
ball's not going to be followed once again. Perfect gets in there, and there is the Baron. It's just gone.
Super.
I will say Baron, not the biggest concern when Elder is on the card, so KT will back away here and try and regain control
Hallo Johnny.
Nearly back up again for BDD.
Yep, you cannot lose anyone though, otherwise it's just going to be free Elder as
Wow.
Perfect, he might be going down. Canyon managing to land those daggers. Slide
Kass? Warte, wer hat den verkauft?
Oh, Cuz trying to get himself out of there. He flashes to get away.
Wer hat Kass verkauft?
There are 2 GAs, so these
Ulti jetzt wieder ab von Canyon.
keep themselves alive, but they do.
Oh, das ist eine fette BDD-Ulti. Oh mein Gott, das ist eine richtig fette BDD-Ulti. Ach du Scheiße.
And it's a double for aiming. Perfect is now
Oh, großer Gott.
as he goes down to his GA and Ruler and I think they're just going to try and look to end the game because they've lost their smite and Elder is up.
BDD walking forward, looking for Ruler here.
Ich meine, gut von Genji mit drunter zu laufen.
This is so precarious. This is so awkward because Genji has
Ja.
just kind of obliterated the base.
Sie können nicht finishen und Elders down. Oh mein Gott.
They also need to take this Elder
Wait.
before respawns come in.
Okay,
Wait, die kriegen die kriegen Triple Inhib.
Inhibitor, 2 down. It's not good, but it's not the end of the game.
Nee, sie kriegen nicht Triple Inhib.
And they now have the Elder.
Voll in den Choke reingelaufen gegen die
It's a big
Big Ulti. Oh.
in this next 2 minutes.
Surely würden sie nicht feeden.
Such a delicate fight. And it was just
Weil der Draft geht nämlich gleich weiter.
just damage and the kill.
In LP. Wie wär's? Wir finishen das Game jetzt, nachdem der Elder ausgelaufen ist.
GA, he's a sitting dog. The blast cone from Cuz, I didn't quite see even second time around how that happened, but hilarious.
Yeah.
The blast cone shenanigans here. BDD gets so much damage down.
My lord.
Maybe they thought it
Ja,
was
so fucking insane.
available yet, but he kills 2. Canyon goes down before really using anything, and then Ruler has to run away from the sheer size of it.
Ja, das mit der Plan war gut von Keen. Ich dachte, das war einer von KT, der gegrieft hat.
Poor BDD able to really boost up that
So
Chaos Storm.
1,40 auf Elder noch.
this is one problem, is that KT have Elder Dragon and absolutely win a fight if they take one right now.
Yes.
But Genji have Baron and 2 super minion waves pushing.
Ja, das ist gut von Toplane Wave würde ich pushen als Canyon, oder nicht? Ja, gut.
And we're just going to have to wait until the next Baron and Elder are up and available.
Yeah, it has bought time for KT, but Genji have that permanent buff off the Mountain Dragon, which they feel very good about.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of wave clear that they can do pretty safe.
Fertiger Hut jetzt bei Cho V.
Just to thin it out. Might have to give up this tier 2. I think that's going to be the cost in this situation, but it's not exactly a huge... Oh, Keen might be more of a cost.
Flash.
Going to be put into the Cataclysm, has to flash to get
Aber du delayst eine Wave damit, ne?
taken that one. That is a
Du
little
machst alles eine Wave später.
as BDD
50 Sekunden nur noch, das heißt, du gibst den Tier 2 und dann auf dem Inhib kannst du schon obwohl, du kannst nicht fighten auf dem Inhib.
Flash going down seems bad for Genji. It actually distracted KT away from the
Genau.
tower, and it meant they have to wait for another wave.
Genau. Eine Wave später.
Time. The tower's going to go down anyway.
Yeah.
They are stalling KT out as well.
30 Sekunden.
The Baron buff is gone, so they don't have that available.
Und Elder's out. Ja, schaut auf. Ja.
There's just one more wave coming in that KT have to play with, that it looks like they're not even going to sit around and wait for that. The Elder has been timed out. The gold lead is closed by 1,000, and KT, despite
Wo ist Canyon? Der ist doch da irgendwo, oder nicht?
above, haven't been able to translate into too much on.
Oh no, it's flash from BDD. He's not able to get over the wall, but he's still able to do a lot
Yep.
of damage before he
Oh, Jovi!
answers.
Elder out. Jetzt ist Elder out. GG.
And now Duro gets in there.
Lecker.
Make themselves scarce, gets out of the way, but the Lulu not going to survive. Aiming, trying to fight this one as he does kill the doggo, but now everyone else is dead.
Ruder mit Scimitar Moospeed.
Down Duro potentially. Ruler will be there with the damage. Just real
Okay, perfekt. GG.
try and do this one by himself.
Peak.
Kobe teleports to the enemy base.
Ey, die haben eine Tanzding, ne? Guck mal, die müssen Dancecam Challenge.
For Genji.
Wie geil.
Off the back
GG.
of this man in the mid lane. Oh my
GG.